And well, Spurs have just officially sacked Thomas Frank as manager after a 2-1 loss to Newcastle recently. They're currently sit 16th in the table. As you can see, that's currently where we had them in this series anyway. With a bunch of big injuries to the team. It's going to be a tough first season as manager, or I should say half season as manager of Spurs, because I've been brought in as manager to add some stability back into this team. But let's get into the Spurs series. If you're going to enjoy the first episode, drop a like and subscribe. When I road to 2,000 subscribers, I hope getting there is greatly appreciated. Let's get into the first episode. And well, my first game as Spurs manager couldn't be bigger. It's going to be the North London derby at home now against Arsenal. So we have a pretty decent... Well, we could get a win here against Arsenal. Arsenal right now is the top of the table. And if I manage to beat Arsenal here, at least get a draw to show some progress for the team, then we could possibly go on a good run for the season. So we're still not in the Champions League, and we have 12 games after the season. And as we know, we currently sit, I believe, or we currently sit 17th in the table IRL, 16th in the series, with European football being only 11 points away or so. As you can see right there on 40 points in 6th are Liverpool. And that would be big for us to try and get to Conference League. But a top 10 finish for me is what I want this season for us to do. And, well, there's going to be stuff on the line. So, see, with us underperforming, we most likely will have to sell some big players next season. And, well, let's get straight into this game against them. And as you'll see by the squad, we do also have a bunch of big injuries. We've switched to 4-2-1-3, but the likes of, Richarlison and Pedro Porro are going to be back in a day's time, so that's pretty decent for us. Madison's going to be out for 128 days of an ACL injury. We have Bergvall back in, 2 months. We've got Bentancur back in 2 months as well. Kudus back in a month. And Ben Davies, the player we're going to let go at the end of the season, back in a month as well. So we've got a bunch of decent injuries like Kudus, Bentancur, Bergvall, Madison, where we're players that we would like to have in the team. And our bench is looking decent, but not great. Our team's looking pretty decent as well, with some young talents in the team that we can develop. And midfielder Gallagher and Archie should be pretty good for us. Let's get into our first game as manager against Arsenal and hopefully show some progress with the Spurs team and hopefully somehow maybe get at least a point against Arsenal in my first game as manager. And well, as Arsenal start this game, drop in the comments down below players you think we should sign in this team, and if you think we should sell some big players, because the likes of, Victoria's looking likely to leave the Spurs next season. Destiny Doja's been linked to moves away. Romero and Pedro Porro have been linked to Atletico Madrid over the years. There's a bunch of big players that could leave this team if we don't maybe finish in the top 10, if we don't show at least some fight and perform well in the Champions League. Spurs have been such a weird team this season. In England, in domestic competitions, they've been poor. But in the Champions League, we get a good chance to have Odobert playing right wing for us. And Odobert here. Back into Solanke. So I finish my thought once we finish this attack. Archie great. In here to Matthias Tell, who turns. And again, Tell, the Frenchman, hits it straight at Raya. But as I was saying, Spurs this season in the Champions League have been incredible. But when it comes to domestic football, they've been poor. Knocked out of both cup competitions fairly early on. Putting us at 17th in the table. You see, injuries have been taking a part of them. Also, they started the season off pretty well as Trossard shoots. Vicario makes a save though. Gallagher blocked it, but it still goes through to Zubimendi, who's driving forward. Trossard from a Brighton man. There's great defender from Jed Spence. Solanke forward into Odobert. The pace of the two Frenchmen down the wing should be big for us this season. Odobert running through. Could he open the squad? No, Odobert's done so. Playing out of position, technically isn't a right wing in the game. Doesn't have it as a position. If I get on words, that'd be great. But I'm going to train him to be a right wing. He's got his first goal of the season in the Prem. And Wilson Odobert last FC was a great player for us in the team at left wing. And could be a great player for us at right wing whilst Mohamed Kudus is injured. And well, we take the lead against Arsenal at home. Odobert with a goal. And could this be a big turning point in our season? As I've been appointed as manager, as Thomas Frank's been sacked, am I about to turn the Spurs team around and make it a team that can once again challenge for trophies next season, probably anyway. But if I do win the Champions League this season, I will do a season 2. There's a good chance that I will actually win the Champions League, because usually, I win the Champions League pretty quickly with teams, especially if we are still in the competition like we could do here with Spurs. If I do so, then that would be massive and very unrealistic. But Odobert running through. There is Xavi Simons and Arsenal. Seems to be rocked as Gabriel blocks the shot from Simmons. It's going to be a corner for us. He can get it forward with one last attempt at it. Romero. Solanke. Good move there from him because Solanke double lead for the half-time break. He can't. It's a poor finish there. Should have passed it across. Lovely move there from him. Archie Gray hit to Simmons. Odebert. Through to Solanke. Great move, Solanke. Finesse. And he misses. That was a great effort, but just wide of the post. I think he's very underrated. Trossard shoots. Vicario, comfortable save. We're just under pressure from them, trying to just maintain this 1-goal lead. Great. Solanke, free to Tell. And Tell cuts inside the former Bayern Munich talent. Hits it, and it's 2-0. Matthias Tell doubles our lead against Arsenal, who have not performed in this game. They have been awful. Genuinely, they've done nothing going forward. And defensively, they've been fairly hard to beat, yes, but overall, we've scored 2 goals against them, so not that hard to beat, but we're cut inside. Matthias Tell bends into the far corner and doubles our goals heading in this team. The two Frenchmen, the 2 wide players on the score sheet. Trossard. Gallagher blocks. Good steal there from Spence. Can I carry it forward to find Kolomwani with the pace? Eloni gets it to Kulusevski. Swedishman back into Saar. In it to Odebert. And Saliba steals it. Oh, I wanted one more. I wanted to just bait the challenge of Saliba then and turn and take the shot. Well, it's a 2-0 win at home against Arsenal. In my first game as manager, we beat top of the league, the North London rivals. And well, Mikel Arteta, people are going to be asking questions of him because he's been beaten by us, who are currently 17th in the table IRL. It's a big win for us. Odebert and Tell on the score sheet. An overall pretty decent game from us. A good performance. Arsenal didn't perform in this game. The Solanke man of the match. I believe he got both assists, if I'm not mistaken. He played great as striker, as a more of a creative player. We do expect him to score goals for us. And overall, a great start to our series here. And well, before we get into our next game, and we're going to quickly talk about transfers, because like I said, some players have been linked to a move away. Vicario has been linked to Inter Milan as the successor to Jan Sommer, and well, he said it's open to the move back to Italy, with Spurs obviously underperforming this season. It could be a player that's most likely going to leave. Romero has been linked with Atletico Madrid over the past couple of years, and Barcelona, etc., so he could be a player that leaves. Destiny Doji, also a big player as well. Mickey van der Ven has been linked with moves away, and also players like Pedro Porro is now back from injury, has been linked with transfers in the past, and luckily we now have lots of Richarlison back from injury, which is to see. But in terms of transfers being linked to the team, Robin Rose has been linked as the successor to Vicario in goal. If they do sell him, and how good Rose can be from our Fiorentina, so he was a goalkeeper in that one, and he was great. But in terms of other options we have Antonov Trubin from Benfica, obviously recently scored a big goal for them against Real Madrid to win them the game, I think it was, and he could be a great goalkeeper for us, the Ukrainian shot stopper. Could be another option instead of Rose to come into the team. Trafford would be a cheaper option from Man City, right now their backup goalkeeper, and could be our first in goalkeeper in this team here, and would be a great player for us to have in the team. Other than that, Martin van der Voort from Leipzig, obviously he's the lowest rated of the 5, but he does have 90 potential and could be a great goalkeeper for us in the team. As a cheap option again, is like the cheapest option here, due to him being the lowest rated, but obviously would be a decent goalkeeper. And other than that, we got Bart Verbruggen, the Dutchman from Brighton. It could be a great goalkeeper for us to bring into the team. And other than with those transfers, as you can see, goalkeeper-wise, that is if we do sell Vicario and bring in one of those to replace him. Robertson's been linked with a move I see in January, was close to actually joining Spurs, and in the end, it didn't go through. It's a player that I think, if we brought him in, would be a good backup player for us as an experienced player in the team. He wouldn't really get much first-team football, as I would rather focus on the likes of Hidoji if we do keep him. Vlahovic, obviously, has been linked with moves to Spurs quite a lot, which hasn't really materialised, but he's a player that's most likely going to leave Juventus at the end of the season. And Spurs have been a team that have been heavily going for him in the past couple of months, etc. And Igor Thiago has been one of the better performing players in the Premier League this season. The Brazilians had a great season and could be a great player for us to bring in from Brentford, who are also a team that are doing decent but not the best. And we could bring him in to Spurs they would most likely want a lot of money for him, but he could be a great player for us to sign. A player that I've not used yet in this game, a player that's obviously doing great IRL. Could be a fun player to have in the team. And we'll drop in the comments down below transfers you want to see us make, and players you think we should sell. Let's get into the rest of the season. And away from home against Fulham, who will get a 1-1 draw with Tell scoring for us, but Harry Wilson getting a goal for them to earn a point for them at Craven Cottage. And at home against another struggling team in Crystal Palace, we get a 2-0 victory. Romero and Matthias Tell scoring for us in this one to get the 3 points at home here against Palace. Alright, so as you can see in the round of 16 of the Champions League, we've been drawn against Bayer Leverkusen. We're going to be an interesting team to face. They're not the best team as they used to be, but they're still a decent squad with some great players in their team. And we'll get into this one. You can see Pedro Porro is going to return to right back for this game and might even start someone like Danzo in the squad for this game. Or Kulusevski could get a start down the wing maybe or at cam. I'm not too sure what I want to do for this game. I feel like I'm going to keep as it is for now as we are still developing. I might give Pat Sartre the game instead of Archie Gray and also Conor Gallagher and see how these two play together. And other than that, keep it as it is. So let's get into this one up against them and hopefully beat Leverkusen here in the first leg so we can see in the second leg and get into the next round at the Champions League. For us to be fair. That's Nathan Teller as well. I see he was great for us in that series as well. Nathan Teller's always a great player in career mode. To get the ball away with Van der Ven. Unfortunately, Romero steps in there. So a corner here. Worked in by Grimaldo. Had a goals by Nathan Teller over the bar there from the former Everton man. I believe he played for Everton or Southampton, one of the two. Ball forward into Tell. Simmons plays it forward into Matthias Tell. And cut it inside. Tell does well, but Yoro Kwanzaa does better there to stop him. Perhaps saw Simmons through to Solanke. Gets it to Simmons. And Xavi Simmons shoots and Flecken makes a save. Grimaldo. Blocked here by Porro. Ball into Solanke. Surprised it actually reached him. Simmons, Solanke, first time effort, Flecken saves. We're looking pretty good in this game. We haven't scored yet. Matthias Tell. Just a play here back into Simmons maybe. Simmons can drive. Great mid there from him. Near post strike. Flecken saves. I needed someone in the centre to pass it to. We lose it again though. It's been a very even game, I will say. Simmons. Here's Solanke. Ball into Conor Gallagher. And Turner can shoot. Gallagher scores at the end of the first half. Conor Gallagher gives us the lead in the round of 16 first leg away from home in the Bayer Arena against Leverkusen. I will say we've been a better team in this game so far. It's been a fairly even first half. It had a better opening or so, but we've been dominating for the past 20 or 25 minutes or so of the game. And Gallagher here does well, gets inside, bends it into the far corner. Great finisher from him, straight into the top corner of the net. That's a fantastic finisher from him. And it's 1-0 here to us just before the half-time break. You love to see it. Yeah, I mean, they've both been pretty good in the team as we expect. If we do sell Porro, then Spence will play right back. If we sell Adoji, then Spence will play left back. Ball through into Solanke though. And we did a double our lead here. Solanke running through. Makes it 2. And Dominic Solanke gets his 3rd goal of the season in the Champions League. And obviously in FC25, Solanke in our Spurs career mode was absolutely insane at striker. I'm hoping that he can be the same for us in the season. As he powers that one into the back of the net there. Makes it 2-0. Tapsoba couldn't catch him. And Flecken couldn't deny him. And it's 2-0 here to Spurs. 5 more minutes or so, 10 or so. We'll make a few changes. Bring on Kulusevski. Bring on Palhinha in midfield. And Charlton at striker as Odobert drives forward. The Frenchman can score. And Odobert makes it 3. And well, what a performance it's been from us. In the first, like I said, 10-15 minutes we were under pressure from Leverkusen, but since then we've been in full control of the game. And Wilson Odobert scores again. Playing right wing now, he actually is officially a right wing in the team. He now has his position. And I think honestly, Odobert and Tell as our wingers in this series will be perfect for us. Obviously, Kudus coming back from injury will give us an interesting dilemma to start him over Odobert or not. We're 3-0 up here in this game. And we're looking pretty comfortable, so we're going to bring on Richarlison at striker. See what he can do. Kulusevski at cam. Palhinha and CDM for Conor Gallagher, I think, is a bit more defensive. is perhaps our defensive. I mean, he's decent defensively. Got Callagher's play styles. He does have intercept. So let's keep Patsor on. Defensively, I think I want to make a change. I want to bring on Danzo instead of Romero, give him a run out. And also, let's bring on Souza at left back. Why not? Well, Charleston steals it. There's been a player in the comments of the last video that you guys said we should sell in this series, but I think I'm going to keep him in the team. It's a good backup player. Odebert denied of a fourth. The Tillman. Leverkusen 3-0 down, but try to find ourselves back in this game. As well, Schick there must have seen someone that no one else saw because he played the ball into empty space. Otto who can take him. So I'm going to put a player on the line because I don't want to concede. It's Alejandro Gamaldo. Plays it short actually. Shot taken, poor effort there though from them, and Vicario comfortable save. Ball in by Grimaldo, straight into Gusto Vicario. Ball forward into Richarlison. Can he make it 4 and put this game to bed? Richarlison does make it 4. And we should be through now into the quarterfinals of this Champions League. Rubbing salt in the wounds with the celebration now. Richarlison is. It's a 4-0 win away from home in Leverkusen. And while this team is looking dangerous after a poor first half of the season in the league, but playing good in the Champions League, now with me as manager, we can continue our great performances in the Champions League, but also bring those over to the Prem. And we have done so far, beating obviously Palace in the sim game, beating Arsenal in a played game, and drawing against Fulham, which is a tough game away from home Fulham. So not mad about that draw. And it's a 4-0 win here against Leverkusen in the first leg of the round of 16 of the Champions League. Well, it's a big win for us. And when it's hard to say we didn't deserve it, we dominated possession, dominated the stats. And Solanke, man of match performance from him again. And Simmons up there as well. Gallagher played great, got the first goal for us, and overall a great performance of the team in this one here. And as you can see, our next game's a big one up against Liverpool. As you can see, we're currently 13th in the table on 36 points, close to the top 10. So we want to get a win here against Liverpool. As we did beat Arsenal, so hopefully we can defeat Liverpool. You'd imagine that if it could beat Arsenal, who were top of the table at the time, we can beat Liverpool. So you imagine that would be the case. But let's get into this game. We're on 49 points. We are on 36 points. So winning here will put us 10 points behind them. Let's get into this one. And I believe we're playing them away from home, if I'm not mistaken. So let's get into this game. I think we're playing them away from home. Yeah, we are. We're playing them at Anfield. Let's get into this game and hopefully defeat Liverpool here. And he still is here. Frimpong over here to Salah. Liverpool just patiently bring the ball forward. Verts into Ekitike. He finally just kind of a face gun in the game. Shot taken. Vicario comfortable save there for the Italian. Oh, that's just not what I wanted to do there. There we go. Odebert intercepts. Simmons. Odebert's in behind of Kokes. And he's offside though. I need to see that. I need to see the line. If that's offside, I was about to put it across to Solanke. I mean, the line isn't drawn correctly. The foot's behind the white line. The offsides in this game are just... I don't get how they've messed it up, man. Because it worked most of the time in SC25, right? I mean, SC26, pretty much every offside I get is just wrong because the lines are drawn incorrectly. To be fair, it's realistic. But, you know... There's no VR in this game to counteract it and whatever, so when I get screwed out of stuff like that, it's frustrating. Simmons, Odebert, great start to game from him. He kind of gets it across, but Konate blocks it. There's Kokes. Not been the signing that Bournemouth wanted him to be. It's been a decent player for them, yes, but obviously he's made a bunch of mistakes earlier in the season. In this time there, Salah, Vicario makes a save. The header back to Vicario kind of didn't work out. It went straight to Salah pretty much. We just struggle. We can't get involved in this game right now, attacking wise. We can't create anything. Simmons tracking down his fellow Dutchman. Salah up against Jed Spence, ball inside. Porro back stick. Vicario makes a save. And not a single shot. No, I'm trying to pass that. Thank you, Vicario, for saving it, because I tried to pass that to Vicario. Not even joking you. That pass was aimed at Vicario. Simmons into Odebert. Great game he's had so far. Odebert now. We finally get a strike. Odebert shoots. That's our first attempt on goal. Just in general. Matthias Tell. A bit Frimpong. It's going to be tough to do though. That's all. To Gallagher. What is... Okay, game. Conor Gallagher messing up a pass like that. It makes so much sense, game. Like... Ball up wider to Kirkes. Verts inside Van de Ven blocks, who's also been linked heavily to Liverpool this year. Well, I should say, this season. It is frustrating. Thankfully didn't concede there though. If we win this game, it's going to be a miracle, honestly. Slanky here to Tell. Matthias Tell 1-on-1 with Mamardashvili. And Matthias Tell scores. I just said it would be a miracle if we win this game. And we're open to scoring 68 minutes in. And what if we win this game? It's also poor in Liverpool because they've dominated us in this game, attacking wise. We have more possession, yes, but we have struggled in this game. To be fair, this game is against me. You know, you've seen some of the passing in this game. The pass that was meant to go for Vicario went straight to Ekitike. That pass on Gallagher that got just messed up for no reason. The passing in this game is god awful. But Matthias Tell scores to make it 1-0. We should have to see. And this is why I brought in Adoji. That's why I brought him on, for the energy against Salah late in this game, because I felt like Jesperson was starting to struggle. Van de Ven could challenge. Kuzelski and Richarlison linking up here. They move from us here. This is actually great football. Richarlison's through, and Richarlison makes it 2. That passing play was incredible. This game goes from like brilliance like that, where you can actually pass it around and do nice football, to just the opposite end of it so often. It's such a coin flip of a game with the passing most of the times, but that was incredible. We're 2-0 up against Liverpool, and I can't believe my eyes, because Liverpool should have won this game. They had all the chances in the first half, and they couldn't score. Vicario made some great saves, some good defending from Romero, and also Van de Ven, to be fair at times, but they should at least be getting a draw here. They should win this game realistically, but a win here for us is massive if we don't throw it away in the final like 4 minutes of the game. But I don't understand how we're winning this game 2-0. There was ever a game that I should have lost, it's this one. But then they're going to score straight away. No, Vicario, what a save. Canate cleared off the line by Gallagher. Following again, Kanate's header. Goalwards, Vicario saves it. I need someone to mark Kanate, someone else, because whoever it is right now is struggling. There we go. Let's move. Okay, or not. Kanate's header again. Goalwards wide on that for another corner. Liverpool have a barrage of corners here to end the second half. Romero wins it. Richarlison. And we get another goal. Kadamawadi. Oh, what is that pass? And it's a 2-0 win against Liverpool. Somehow, we beat them here at Anfield. You can hear the boost in the Liverpool fans. They are pretty calling for the sacking of Arne's slot at this moment, because they should have won this game. I'm literally the first time I'm probably going to ever say I deserve to lose this game. We had 4 shots to their 8, and we scored twice. Vicario, definitely the man of the match for that game. And we're a big 3 points against Liverpool, but we didn't. I'm not going to say we didn't deserve it. We played some decent football at times, but that first half performance was could have seen us lose this game like 3 or 4-0, but we somehow win it 2-0, which is incredible. Alright, so next up, as you can see, we're facing Chelsea in the Champions League quarter-final first leg at home. You can see the other ones are Arsenal v Man City, which is a big game there. Madrid v Galatasaray, I'd give that to Real Madrid easily. I mean, Galatasaray are a decent team, but you'd imagine Real Madrid would get a win there. Liverpool v Atletico Madrid is a close one, but I think I'd give it... I don't know, actually. It's a close game because Madrid obviously just did really well in La Liga recently, winning 4-0, I think, against Barcelona. And Liverpool, obviously, a pretty decent team on the day as well. So that's going to be a close one to call. But in terms of the Premier League, Chelsea are currently 5th in the table on 50 points. We're currently top 10, which is great, on 42 points. We're not, I can see our next game's going to be Sunderland. We're going to sum that one. And we might have to play it, actually, because they're close to us. I'm not too sure about that. But we're going to make a decision on that when we get to it. But let's get into this game against Chelsea and hopefully advance into the next round of the Champions League here after knocking out the other London team in this one here. I think he's going to be the biggest players for us to possibly lose next season, Van der Ven, because I feel like loads of teams are going to come in for him. Odobert strikes with Sanchez, makes the save. And what a season Odobert's had, by the way, since I came in as manager. He's been one of my favourite players in this team. Postecoglou recently came out, like he said, he wanted to sign Pedro Neto for Spurs when he was manager. So we're defending quite nicely there. Matthias Tel. Oh, Solanke. I just feel like Solanke's not really had... In SC25, he was insane for me at striker, but I'm not sure what it is about him in SC26. He just feels slow and sluggish more than ever. Like in SC25, at least, he was just great in front of goal. Neto shoots over the bar, though. And if we do lose Van der Ven, then we also can't forget that we have Vuskovic coming back from loan, so we do have a pretty good like-for-like swap there with Vuskovic coming back. We know how good he is from the back, so it's Matthias Tel inside. Here to Odobert, who I wanted a first-time shot from, but he took a touch, but thankfully in the end, he shot anyway. And the Frenchman, well, the two Frenchmen linking up here to get us the first goal of the game against Chelsea. Have been the better team in this game so far. You've seen they've had a bunch of attacks that they haven't taken. We had a shot earlier that Sanchez saved courtesy of Odobert. And Tel inside. Odobert took the touch. I wanted the first on strike, but it worked out for us in the end. He puts it through the legs of the keeper and gives us a 1-goal lead here against Chelsea in the Champions League quarter-final first leg. And could we do one of the most insane things possible? Finishing like, not inside the top 4 in the Premier League, but also win the Champions League. That would be insane if we do so. So winning the Champions League in the series right now is not going to be the most realistic thing if I manage to do it, but at the end of the day, if I win the games, I win the games. Oh. Neto. Interesting cross. That's going to be dealt with by Odobert. And Tel can get another. Love that from you. Simmons on a break. Odobert, here he goes again. The Frenchman who's broken into the squad and has performed absolutely incredible misses. You can't do that after I hype you up like that, bro. You've got to score, Odobert. You've got to score there. Simmons is in there though against him. There's Solanke. Great ball through. Odobert backstick, great play, Matthias Tel. That low-driven cross from Odobert was picture perfect. That's exactly what I wanted there. I'm surprised it worked. And Matthias Tel, well, Odobert returns the favour. And the two Frenchmen combine again, but the pass from Solanke to open up to start that attack was incredible. That ball right there. Odobert then first time across the box. Tel put a tap in. Simplest goal he'll score probably all season or series long. And we're 2-0 up here against Chelsea. What it is being brought out by the Spurs fans. Karamawani. Kulusevski through to Mohamed. Kudos back from injury. What a moment that is for him to score in his first return. From his first attempt as well on goal. We're 3-0 up against Chelsea in the Champions League. We're just a different team, it seems like. Kulusevski with the assist and Kudus with a goal. And this gives us a different... I think for our next game we're going to play, I'm going to play Tel at striker, Odobert left and Kudus right wing. I'm going to try that out and see how that works for us. So I feel like Solanke's a player we could keep up as a backup striker, but I feel like we need to phase him out the team and bring through someone like a Matthias Tel at striker, a younger talent. Oh, the football we're playing now is incredible. Dzeski. But over the top, Kadamawani. To Kudus. It's 4 and it's 2 for Kudus. The second that passing play started, I knew I was going to score there. But I was kind of worried about the pass with Kadamawani right here to shoot or pass, and I thought, you know what? Let's head it across to Kudus. He hits it on the volley, beats Sanchez for a second time. And what a return, what a statement for Kudus in the team to come back from injury, score 2 goals for us here to make it 4-0. You can see what it means to him, you can see what it means to the team as well and the fans, having a player like Kudus back from injury and performing as well as he is doing. It's going to be another 4-0 win for us in the first leg of a Champions League. We did it against Leverkusen, we'll do it against Chelsea here. And we should be through to the semi-finals. We're going to sim the second leg. But let's get back to Premier League football. And in the next game we're going to play, I'm going to try, like I said, tell that striker, Odebert left wing, and Kudus right wing. But what a game defensively we had, by the way. Romero and also Van der Ven were great. As you can see, they only had 2 shots, Chelsea. They were poor attacking-wise. Matthias Tal, man of the match. And we see Odebert, Kadamawani, Kudus, and also Van der Ven up there in the ratings. That's another big victory for us in the series against Chelsea in the Champions League here. Alright, so next up it is the Champions League semi-finals against the team we've already beaten in the first game of this episode in Arsenal. So we beat them in that North London derby in the Premier League for my first game as manager of the team. And as you can see, the other semi-final is also another derby in Real Madrid v Atletico Madrid. So 2 rivals of their cities respectively here taking part in the semi-final. It's kind of fun to see this, not going to lie. You know, seeing like the Madrid derby and also the North London derby take place in the semi-finals here for a spot in the final there's a lot more on the line, but it is something like this. You know what I mean, if it's like Spurs v PSG, it's a big game, yes, but when it's Spurs v Arsenal, there's more on the line, especially when there's a spot in the final up for grabs. Let's get into this one though against them and hopefully beat them again and advance into the final. For this game, we're all going to play Talat striker, Kudus at right wing, and Odebert at left wing to see how that plays for us in this team here. Simmons, who are now trying to be a classic 10, by the way. And number 7, puts it back here. Simmons bends it. Good attempt. Raya, comfortable save though. Odegaard to Zubimendi, who in that first game we played against Arsenal was the most attacking player in our team. Gyökeres is Van der Ven. It might be one of the most, like, you know, random transfer windows I've ever done in a Chromo, because I don't think I've ever like finished outside the top 4 and not won the won the Champions League. Odebert, why not? Odebert hits it, good attempt, Rido, again, comfortable save there. Oh, why did I do that? Spence, you got to cover there because I made a massive error stepping up there with Van der Ven for no reason. And I've been made to pay because of it. I don't know why I pressured Gyökeres with Van der Ven the way I did. I thought I could get to him in time before he passed it, but Saka puts it also 1 goal to the good. And that's on me. First short defensive mistake I made, and I get punished for it. Fair enough. I can't really complain about the goal because I was the person in the wrong for that. Oh, the passing. Oh, lovely play here. How does the passing go from awful to incredible in the blink of an eye? How does that happen? We're back in this game 1-1. Matthias Tel scores. You heard me groan about the passing, and then we did that afterwards. Like, that's what I mean about the flip of the coin. Like I said previously in this episode, one pass goes wrong, next thing you know, you put out in the same passing sequence and score a goal at the end of it. And just after conceding, we score a goal. As to the old-fashioned saying in football, is you're most vulnerable when you just scored, which now we are on the receiving end of that one, so hopefully we can not do so. We also have Benton called back from injury, by the way, so he's a good player for us to have back in the team as a backup player. A player that I don't want to sell, Benton Coates. He's always a great player in the game. I really like him. By the way, if you're wondering why I'm playing Jed Spence at left back instead of Edozie, I just prefer Jed Spence in real life as well. I just feel like he's much more of a more competent defender than Edozie is. I think Edozie makes more mistakes. than Jed Spence does. As Idoji is younger. As we pull out some great play again. Odobert charging forward. Can he make it 2? What hearing he does. Odobert scores to give us a lead in this game. And what a season he's having, by the way. Obviously, he was incredible for us in the FC 25 series that left when he literally broke into the squad after we sold Son. Even before that, he broke into the squad. He literally performed incredible as a lower-rated player on the team and was insane for us. And hopefully in this series he can continue these performances, because this season so far, he has been world-class for us at right wing, now playing left wing again. He scores here. So the 2 Frenchmen with a goal so far, Tell and Odobert, to give us a 2-1 lead coming towards the half-time break. And are we about to have an insane season where we finish outside the top 4 in the Prem and maybe win the Champions League? Gyökeres trying to drag Arsenal back into the game now. They could do so here though. Saka, Vicario, good save. Archer great. I very liked the team, by the way. Great move, Tell. And to beat Saliba and hold it off. That's great from Matthias Tell. That's a great save from Raya though, but that play from Tell there was world class. That movement there was so good. Granted, I did it, but the fact Tell pulled it off is great. That's a great strike and a great save. Yeah, also here looking dangerous. Ball through to Gabriel Martinelli running forward. He chips Vicario. He hits the post though, but Van der Ven runs it out for a corner. I hate that they do that in this game. As Van der Ven right there in real life, it's not going to knock that out for a corner. And Martinelli just after hitting the post, goes off, Trossard on. And we get lucky there, we get very lucky we didn't concede. Palhinha. Kudelski through to Odobert. If we can score here, that would be big for us. Odobert, straight at Raya. Lifts it up, Raya collects it. No, he should have scored, he should have scored, he should have scored. Gyökeres. Last chance of the game, possibly for Arsenal here. They shoot. And no penalty, thankfully. They could have go. 2 minutes left. If we can score at the end of this game, it will be massive. Kudus across. Odobert in. That touch. That touch. Was annoying. But we get a 2-1 win in the first leg of the semi-final in the Champions League away from home. So it means to the fans that they can't believe their team is possibly about to be in the Champions League final. We deserve to win the game, to be fair. But Martinelli should have scored that chip shot. He should have scored. He got unlucky to hit the post. Matthias had a strike at a 10.0 rating. So maybe that's a sign that he should be our first team striker moving forward. And a great performance overall from this team. I'm kind of disappointed in Kudus in this game, but I feel like the other players in the team just were great and he kind of just fell behind him a little bit. Alright, so we'll go straight into the second leg against Arsenal. After we won the first one 2-1, I didn't feel comfortable simming the second leg, so we're playing this one here at home, and hopefully we can get through to the final, which again would be insane for us to reach the final. And we are playing the same lineup as last time. With Tell back at strike. He was injured for 5 days, did miss a game against Aston Villa in the midweek that we simmed and got a 2-2 draw. Kudus though, forward, shoots and scores. What a start to the game. And Mohamed Kudus expressed disappointment in the last leg. Scores a great goal here to open up the game. That's a great finish. Like, that is a world-class finisher from Mohamed Kudus. We obviously can play a bunch of positions for us. Can play right wing, left wing, cam, striker. And that finish there is insane. We might have to try him at striker, but I feel like Matthias Tell would be a better striker for us than Kudus. But both of them can try out the striker position at some point and absolutely ruin Arsenal here in the second leg. And Kudus again. Gets inside, finds Matthias Tell. That should have been a goal. Martinelli does. Gallagher intercepted again. Matthias Tell. Kudus, Simmons, back into Kudus. And Kudus denied by Raya. You know, as it would IRL, would a player to get there very quickly. Gyökeres shoots. Vicario makes a save. See if he scored at the end of that first leg, sorry. So we get in the attack with Van der Ven. We know can do this IRL. Van der Ven to Kudus. Inside, bends it. Wide of the post though. Let's see how that works for us. Kudus. Simmons wide of the post. We should be like 4 goals up in this game. Back into Odegaard. Zubimendi, Martinelli. Saka shoots spots by Romero. Now Odegaard to Tell. Simmons. Kudus here on the counter. Show you Simmons now. Ball through to Kudus. Great play. Kudus holds it up. Back into Odegaard. And Raya again with a save. How have we only scored 1 goal in this game? I don't understand that we only have scored 1 goal in the second leg so far. Kudus does that for you. And Kudus is still going here. They're giving the room. Kudus shoots. And he should have scored. What is going on? Like, how have we not scored like 4 goals? That's got to be a goal here, Kudus. You've got to score that. Tell. Odegaard. It's Tell now. Lovely move there from him. And again cuts back Tell. Shoots. Hits the crossbar. How in the world have we only scored 1 goal in the second leg? I don't get it, man. We should have scored like 6 by now. Odegaard's in. Odegaard. Kudus is there, thankfully, because that was a chipped header, by the way. We finally get a second goal in this game. Kudus scores. It's 4-1. We're going to assume the rest of the game. But I don't understand how we haven't won this game like 6-0 at this point in the second leg. As we have dominated this game. Thankfully, Kudus was awake there because I tried to chip with Odegaard the keeper there. We did technically do it, but the header didn't have enough on it to get into the goal. And thankfully, Kudus was there to sweep it up and make it 4-1 for us. It's 7 to the end. And we should be through to the final of the Champions League here. And we are. We finally get 2 more goals in this game. There we go. 4-1, 4-0 or 6-0, 6-1, sorry. And a well-deserved scoreline for us in this game because we dominated Arsenal in this whole tie. And we're through to the final of the Champions League, which is mental. Alright, so as you can see, our next game is up against Chelsea in the Premier League. That is because, as you'll see by the league table, we're currently 8th in the table on 55 points. Liverpool in the Conference League positions are only on 58. Newcastle in the Europa League are on 59. And there's 2 games after the season, but we also are going to be in the Champions League final. But let's say we don't win the Champions League, we want one of these 2 positions. We need European football next season to keep hold of players. And if we do get Europa League or Conference League, it's not enough to keep the likes of Van de Ven probably in the squad, but it's enough to kind of entice players to the team to replace some players that we might lose in the transfer window if we sell some big name players, and also to kind of keep hold of some players as well, to be like, look, we didn't have the best season last season, but a full season next season as BS manager, we can take this team into top 4, we can win maybe the Premier League and also do well in the Champions League. But obviously, if we do win the Champions League this season, then that gives us a big, I guess a big boost in the transfer window next season to keep hold of players and also sign players. And I think I still would like to sell a big player, maybe like a Van de Ven, who I feel like he's most likely going to leave. Corio has been open about leaving the team, and we could sign a goalkeeper, like I mentioned at the start of the episode. But let's get into our next game against Chelsea before we get into the Champions League final against Atletico Madrid, and hopefully just give us also a backup plan in case of Atletico Madrid do beat us, because they beat Real Madrid to reach the final, so they're not a team we should take lightly. Let's get into this game against Chelsea. We know we can beat them. Let's hopefully do it again here to leapfrog them in the table and hopefully get into the top 6. At Stamford Bridge and leapfrog them in the table to hopefully get into the top 6. If Liverpool lose to Villa, that would be big for us. And obviously if West Ham can somehow do the job against Newcastle, that would be big as well. Matthias Tell. I'm still trying to figure out what I want Simmons to play as. Is back as a shadow striker for this game. I did play him as a playmaker in the last game, and Tell just okay, he just blasted that so far wide. That was such a bad miss, and I don't know how we got that so wrong. Esteval playing right wing. I do want to do a Chelsea series at some point to obviously use as the Valve not used them yet in the game. That's why I need to get back into making rebuild content so I can use more players. Archie Gray hits it. Robert Sanchez makes a save. Odobert in. Simmons coming ahead of Champong does so. Odobert wins it though. Odobert shoots. Sanchez with a save. We're looking pretty good in this game so far. So this is a must-win for us. Conor Gallagher, the former Chelsea player, hits it wide of the post. Brilliant. Ball in. Comfortable save there for Vicario to make. Matthias Tell. Through to Kudus. Goes inside. Kudus hits it and Kudus scores. That's poor defending from a Champong, who we know is a great defender. We used him in this game in our previous series, which I can't remember which one it was now, but he was a great defender for us in that team. Mohamed Kudus here makes it 1-0. What a return to the team he's had. And so it's brought in from West Ham. I expect to be a big player for Spurs. Had some great performances before his injury. And since coming back from injury here in this series, has picked up where he left off. There's some big goals for us. Some great performances. He cuts inside and bends it into the far corner there and makes it 1-0 to us. Kudus to Simmons, and that should be a goal, but we still haven't scored there. How did we not score there? Andrew Santos gets the ball off him. And that's going to be a 1-0 win against Chelsea, which might see us be in the top 6 if we have results our way go elsewhere. Well, results elsewhere go our way. But it's a big win for us here. Chelsea had 0 shots in this game. I didn't even know that. I thought they had shots, not going to lie. I thought they had a few chances in goal, but they didn't have a single one. Alright, so as you can see, unfortunately, we only managed to finish 7th in the Premier League. 1 point off Conference League football, with Newcastle finishing 62 points ahead of us. 1 point ahead of us, sorry. Unfortunately for us, only 3 points behind the Europa positions, which is kind of annoying. We didn't get guaranteed European football for next season, but that means that going into this Champions League final against Atletico Madrid, it is quite literally all or nothing, because if we win the Champions League, we are Champions League winners. We are Champions League football for next season. That means more money, better players. We have the moniker of being the best team in Europe after winning this competition, which is kind of mental if we are finishing 7th in the Premier League and we are winning the Champions League. But it is where it is. But it also means we have some pulling power on keeping players at the club and also bringing better players in. I think still a player like Van der Ven would most likely leave us next season to a team that are better than us. Maybe a Liverpool if they did come in for him, a team like Real Madrid, PSG, Barcelona, a big team like that, Bayern Munich, etc. But right now, this is literally everything. So let's look at the very good Atletico Madrid team that they do have. I see right now they're doing pretty decent in our Liga for themselves. So Alvarez Soloff up front with Baena at left mid, Cardoso, Barrios, Simeone, Llorente, Puberi at the centre back with Jimenez, Hanko, and also Oblak in goal. You imagine that team looks more like Griezmann at striker, and obviously they've recently signed Adebayor Lutman and Norman at centre back. So they've got a pretty good team. Let's get into this UCL final against Atletico Madrid, and hopefully someone will walk out of here Champions League winners. Koke in the team as well, the captain, I do believe anyway. And this is the most pressure I have felt for a UCL final, I think, ever. Because usually in Champions League finals, unless it's a rebuild, I know, I'm most likely going to win. Or it's the final game of the series, and the team at that point is pretty much guaranteed to win the final. But right now, I have no expectations of us winning this game, but we're going to try our best to do so. Atletico Madrid are a decent team, but a team we can definitely beat. Obviously, in the Champions League this season, we have been pretty good. Obviously, beating 2 teams 4-0 in the knockout stages. Simmons into Odobert. Jimenez as well. Wanted a distant do the drop back and needed there, which means could steal. Kudus. Travis Simmons. Ball inside there to Matthias Tell. Can turn, he can shoot, and he can score. I didn't expect I was going to score there. When I cut back the first time and Jimenez, I think it was, read it, I was like, okay, we can't score here. So I did it again to try and work the angle and read it for a second time, but somehow, you see this cut back here, I thought, okay, we're done for at this point. With two defenders ahead of us, I thought that was not going to go in. Jimenez, I thought was going to block it. The long man couldn't stop us. Black couldn't make the save. And it's 1-0 here to us. It's most likely going to be a yellow card for him. Oh no, Alvarez. How frustrated we conceded there. I am frustrated we conceded there. Because I think, I'm not so sure who it was who got the ball. It was Jed Spence here. I just couldn't, he just was taking touches for no reason. And I couldn't do anything with him. And Vicario could have saved it. It's 1-1. Only one goal apiece so far. I see Atletico Madrid are a very defensive team. And Spurs, in the past couple of seasons, have been a more defensive focused team. Obviously under Mino, more attacking. Gallagher hits it against his former team, Black, though, with a save. Good work, left and great. Simmons. Tiestel. Back into Xavi Simmons. It's 2-1. I patiently waited there for a pass to open up. I thought Odegaard was going to make the run, and he didn't do it. He had 3 attempts to try and make a run and just didn't make it either time. And I was kind of worried. I was kind of waiting for that run to be made. But then Simmons made the run for the centre and scores it to make it 2-1 to us, put us back in the lead. And you can see right now I was waiting for Odegaard to commit to the run. Then Simmons made the run last second. So I thought, you know what, let's give him the ball. He hits it first time, scores, and makes it 2-1. There's Spence, so great. How's he not got a yellow card for that foul on Llorente in the first half? Kudus running at Devin Hanko. Ball in, Tell. Couldn't flick it on Lomand as well. Got that wider to find Simeone. Spence up against him. Now inside here. That's going to be not 2-2. Koke puts it wide. Kudus, Tell. Back into Mohamed Kudus. He bends it. What a finish. No, that's an insane finish. That's an incredible, what a goal from Kudus. That is insane. That made us win as the Champions League. We're 3-1 up. Julian Alvarez feeds it through into Barrios, who shoots, and Van der Ven blocks it. There's a big block there from the Dutchman. And Jimenez scores the header. It's 3-2. What a final this has been, by the way. It's probably the most entertaining Champions League final I've played in a long time. Usually they're pretty straightforward. But Jimenez makes it 3-2 and puts him back in this game. Tiestel forward. And Odebert wrap the game up. Yes, he can. Wilson Odebert has just won Spurs the Champions League. It's 4-2. What a season he's had. What a season we've had since I came in as manager. At the start of February, I came in as manager. We've not lost a single game in a played game or in a sim. I think we've lost one against Bayer Leverkusen in the Champions League. We already won that game 4-0, the first leg anyway, so the second leg didn't matter. We haven't lost a played game. We haven't lost a game in general since that mattered realistically. The Champions League has Lookman though, trying to get another consolation goal for Atletico Madrid. He might actually do so. Over to Barrios, support finisher from him. And there we go. We have won the Champions League. I don't know what to say, but that is insane. It's maybe one of our biggest achievements in career mode. Granted, we still have a decent team, yes, but we shouldn't have won the Champions League this season. There shouldn't have been a possibility for us. We were 16th in the table when I took over as manager. We finished 7th in the table in the Premier League. We were knocked out of both cup competitions domestically. We had so many injuries in the squad to big players. But our youth players, players or young talents like Odebert, Tell, etc. have stepped up. And Spurs have won the Champions League. In season 1, the first episode of the series, I've won the Champions League. This could end here. Yeah, I mean, usually I end my career as after winning the Champions League. But I want to win everything with Spurs, so we've got to do another season. But Romero steps up to lift the Champions League trophy. And what an episode this has been. I've had a lot of fun recording this episode, by the way. I don't know if you can tell from the episode, by the way. You probably could tell if you got words out of it. Great. I'm kind of just shocked. This is happening right now. We have won the Champions League. Alright, so in terms of our best players stats-wise, you can see Richarlison was 16 and 8. A bunch of those were in the second team. But Richarlison's been a great player for us in this team. Obviously, in real life, he's been a good player for Spurs this season. Mohamed Kudus, since coming back from injury, 13 and 5, he's done more to really have a massive season for us in this team. Like, he came back from injury. That's been a big reason why we managed to finish 7th in the table and also win the Champions League. Matthias Tell, he is great. He's going to be our first team striker next season. A Champions League winner here now at Spurs. 11 goals and 8 assists. Odebert, 9 and 6 from him at left wing and right wing this season. I see he's been great for us. Van der Ven, I see a bunch of this on from real life. Similar Romero in terms of the goals he has scored. Cullen Mawani, I think we're going to just let him go back to PSG. And the same with Pellegrini, we're going to let him go back to Bayern. I think they're players that are I'm more likely to sign Cullen Mawani than I am Pellegrini. You know what I mean? Like, Pellegrini is a decent player, yes, but I feel like he doesn't really offer us much in the team. But Cullen Mawani is a backup player. Could be decent for us as a backup striker. Can also play left wing or right wing if we needed him to. I think he could be an alright player for us to sign, but how much is he worth? He's worth about 20 million. So depending on the money we have next season, I think we could sign him. Dominic Solanke in 19 games, 5 goals and 6 assists. Not amazing from him, not bad from him. At the end of the day, he was out injured for a while. And obviously, Xavi Simons, 4 goals and 9. And I think next season we're going to see much more Xavi Simons. He played great for us in this team since I came in as manager. Archie, by the way, what a player he is in midfield. I feel like he is such a great player. Kudus Ascini played 16 games for us, was out injured for a while. Will be a big player for us next season. But yeah, drop it in comments down below. Players who you think we should sell for this team, because in terms of first team players, for me there's 3 players we could sell. Pedro Porro, could be a player we let go of. Spence goes right back. Udoji goes left back. Van der Ven leaves us to go to a big team. It would have to be a big team for Van der Ven. I think that's the only player that I'm if a big team comes in for him, I'm more likely to accept it, but it's going to be a big team outside of England. It's going to be like a Real Madrid, a Bayern Munich, a Barcelona, Juventus, something like that. And Vicario has expressed he would like to maybe leave Spurs at the end of the season. So we could let him go and buy a new first team goalkeeper, like I said last at the start of the episode. But in terms of players coming back from loan, we need to take that into consideration, because, like I said, we've got some great players coming back from loan. We've got some young talents we could use. Vuskovic is going to be back from loan, so maybe he could come into the first team. I think I want to bring him into the first team. We've got Velic, I think I might sell him to make space in the team. I'll loan him out, I'm not too sure. We've got Ashley Phillips back from loan from Stoke. Takai back from Gladbach. Alfie Devine back from Preston. Scarlett, I think I might sell him. Madder Solomon, I'm going to let go as well. Iro, Lancashire, Abbott, Hall, some players. Yamin Hyuk is back from loan as well. And also, a player that's already back from his loan spell this year, end of the season, is Mikey Moore, who's back from loan, which is to see. So he's going to be a big player for us in season 2 as a backup in the team. And yeah, season 2 is going to be a big season for us to win, hopefully, the Prem, the FA Cup, the Carabao Cup, and retain the Champions League. Drop in the comments below players you want to see us sign and maybe selling this team. Thank you for watching. Drop a like and subscribe. And as always, goodbye. After the sack of Thomas Frankie in February, Spurs brought me in as a new manager to help stable the ship and revive Spurs as a club. And you can see we're talking from 16th in the table to 7th in half a season, which I think is impressive, a big achievement. But most importantly, we somehow did the biggest achievement of them all and win the Champions League last season, defeating Atletico Madrid in the final, as you'll see, 4-2, and what was a great final between us and them. And as you'll see, these are the stats of the players, which took us to success last season, as I could have tell, and all about having great seasons for us. But let's get into season 2 and make the Spurs team even better. And as you can see here in season 2, we've been given 252 million to spend. I was obviously not going to spend all of that money because that would be ludicrous to spend on the Spurs team. But there's a few players we could sell to keep the series realistic. Yes, we did win the Champions League last season. We finished 7th, so we do have Champions League football this season due to winning the Champions League. But I think, by the way, Richarlison is not going to be a first-team striker. I just put him there because Tell was a striker. Tell's going to be back to left wing, so I do like him there. I do like him at striker as well. I feel like Matthias Tell did well at left wing for us, so I'm going to keep him there. Mikey Moore's back from his loan, but he did pick up a small injury, so he's going to be back at the start of the season. Oliver will back up to the right wing, Rafa Kudus. And we're going to sign a new striker and possibly sell Richarlison. To play that personally, I don't want to sell because I feel like he is always just good in game. For whatever reason, I always know how to use him and he's well for us. But I feel like he's a player that could do Spurs IRL. And in terms of realistic sales, Van de Ven, if I get a big offer for him from a big team like Real Madrid, Liverpool I'd be all right with, but they finish below us technically in the Prem. They finish above us, but they have Europa League football this season. We have Champions League football. So would Van de Ven step down from Champions League to sign for Liverpool? That is questionable. Romero, if I get a big offer from like a Barcelona, I'll sell him. He is a captain of the team. But as you'll see, Vuskovic is back from his loan spell. We know how good he was for his Namush Gladbach series. And I do want to use him this season in the first team. We have Danzo as well as a backup player. We've got some great backup players in the team. Kulusevski is a player we could sell as well. Madison's back from injury. Kulusevski doesn't really have a space in the team. He can play can't play right wing. Yes, he could technically be a better backup left wing or right wing than Mikey Moore, but yet they're young talents we can develop in the team. And Kulusevski probably going to be happy being a backup player now in the squad, especially with Alfie Devine back from his loan spell, who's a big talent that I do want to use as well this season. And that kind of also puts into question Kulusevski's game time and Bergvall as well, who plays Cam. So there's a lot of competition for the spots Kulusevski plays, and I think it's more realistic we sell him and keep him as a backup player. That's what you guys wanted in the comments down below anyway, that we do sell him. And in terms of selling, like I said, the centre-backs, Romero and Van de Ven, and also Vicario. Vicario, I think we do sell. I think he said that he would like to move back to Italy and go to Inter Milan, as they plan to bring him in as a first-team goalkeeper to replace Jan Sommer in the squad. And also, you guys suggested that in the CDM spots, we upgrade to higher-rated players. Personally, I don't want to do that. Conor Gallagher is incredible in game. We have Pap Saw. We have Bentancur, who isn't the best CDM, but Bentancur's a decent player as a backup. Archer Gray's a young talent I want to develop in the team and played well for us last season. Didn't make any mistakes in the squad. And overall, we have a good base for this team. But the question is, who do we sign? And well, let's show you the players we're going to bring in. First of all, a new first-team striker, and it's going to be a big player to bring in as well. Someone that's looking to prove himself after a tumultuous time recently, IRL. And returning back to Premier League football is John Durant from out on Chelsea, and recently has spent time on loan at Fenerbahce. Didn't work out for him. He's recently got on loan to Zenit, which might work out for him, not so sure, but obviously not the highest level of football. But John Durant returns there, 82 rated, 22 years of age. He played up with scoring bangers for Aston Villa like over a year ago before leaving to go to Saudi. He got the bag, but then didn't really work out for him over there, which I do respect, going there for the money, etc., for like a year or two like Gabriel Vega did, then moving back to Europe. But the issue for John Durant is he hasn't really found that level of consistency you need as a proper striker in the modern day of football. But John Durant here can hopefully revive his career, be a great striker for us in the squad. And signing from relegation West Ham, we're going to bring Aaron Wan-Bissaka in as a backup right back to Pedro Porro this season. Obviously, is a great right back, great at tackling, not the best attacking wise, but as a backup right back to Pedro Porro, he's going to be fantastic for us in the team. Has the experience as a proven Premier League player, and isn't going to want the most amount of game time as a quality player. That, let's say Pedro Porro gets injured, Wan-Bissaka can come into the team and be a great player for us in the squad. And Wan-Bissaka will be a great signing for us. Only 14 million, like I said, from relegation West Ham, will be a great backup player for us in the team. And well, weirdly enough, Inter Milan actually came in for Vicario, the team that are looking to buy him. Rose was sold into them for 38.5 million. It was a fantastic goalkeeper for us last season, but to keep it realistic, we're going to let him go. A player that's looking likely to leave the team, and we're going to bring in a new first-team goalkeeper, and we'll show you who that's going to be right now once we've got the deal made. And becoming Vicario's replacement in the team is Anton Trubin, Ukrainian shortstopper from Benfica. Recently scored a big goal for them in the Champions League against Real Madrid. I see a great goalkeeper people have been knowing about for many, many years now. Played out a surprise. Other teams haven't signed from Benfica. But you guys did want Chevalier as our first-team goalkeeper or something like a Kobel maybe. But I feel like there were two bigger signings. Like Chevalier has just joined PSG. Kobel's a world-class goalkeeper. Not saying that Trubin isn't, but he's a younger goalkeeper, still looking to prove himself. And at Spurs here, he can do so in that goalkeeper role, replacing Vicario. And obviously being 6'6" is a taller goalkeeper and a very good goalkeeper at that as well. That would bring into the squad here for only 40 million. Alright, so before we get into UEFA Super Cup final up against AS Roma, who won the Europa League last season, we've got a big sale to update you guys on that has happened in the meantime in between. As you'll see here by the transfer tab, we have sold Kulusevski to Man City for 80 million. We've also let go of Manor Solomon and also some younger players like Takai, who wouldn't really get game time here. Veliz as well, we let him go. Donnelly the same, and Sebastian Scarlett, Hall. And we're letting out some younger players as well that we can get some game time with from elsewhere. That I feel like I would rather keep at the team than sell them. But right now our transfer dealings are looking pretty good. We've spent smartly and we are sold big as well. Like the likes of Wan-Bissaka coming in for 14 million. We literally spent the money we got for Vicario on Trubin. Duran coming in for pretty much nearly half the price tag of Kulusevski who went out. We've made profit this season on our transfers as we currently sat on, I believe, like 295 million as a budget. And this game is going to be a big test for this squad because if we don't perform well in this game, as you can see, Romero and Van der Ven are still here because we haven't got big offers from teams like Real Madrid, Barcelona for them. And literally you have got like Aston Villa, Crystal Palace, Sunderland, Man United, and teams like that coming in for them. That just isn't realistic for them to go to. Obviously, Man United are above Spurs right now in the table, but at the same time, isn't realistic for them to go to. But let's get into this one up against Roma in the Super Cup final, and hopefully Duran can hit the ground running and Trubin can do well in goal. And this is going to be a big test for Archie Gray midfield. So if he doesn't impress me in this game as much as I liked him last season, I might make a big signing for CDM this season here. So we finished 7th in the table. Here's Duran. We really need to do well in this game because I could sell Solanke and buy a higher rated striker ahead of him. That could be potential another young talent to be his backup as well. Duran's through and Duran scores. As I'm talking about possibly him not exactly being nailed as a first team striker this season, he scores here 8 minutes into the game. I need to give him a white or blue wrist tape to make it match the kit. I completely forgot to do that when I signed him. But he does well here. Tell a little bit unfortunate not to get an assist there as Ndika blocked it, but it fell back to Duran, who does score to make it 1-0 to us. And that's a great start for him as a new striker. Coming in from the Saudi League after having a poor, past year or so in terms of football for himself. He needs to do well here at Spurs to prove that he's still a quality striker who can do well in the Prem. And most importantly, in Europe as well for us this season. Van der Ven blocks, it's fallen back to Quado Kone though. Ball inside to Matthias Soulé, who shoots at his fellow Argentine. How is that a penalty, ref? Now someone check. Someone gave him a pace up at the start of this game. That's insane, that's a penalty. We got the ball. The contact's after we got the ball. And that's just the coming together between two players, that's natural. The ball of Trubin, I can't believe that's been given. I really can't. Oh, he goes down the middle as well. It's now 1-1. Archie Gray, there we go. Duran. Trying to get us back in the... referee, that's a red card, surely. From behind, off the ball. Cristante, see you later, lad. That's got to be a red. That's only a yellow. This referee is... someone seriously check this guy's bank statements in the past few days. So Pedro Porro is actually our best free kick taker. Let's see if he can score this. It would be great for him to do so after we've just been robbed. of the lead. Pedro Porro hits it from range, and it's a save from their keeper's Vilar. Mohamed Kudus. Romero. Here's to Jed Spence. Inside it to John Durant. He turns and shoots. Hold that, Roma. And especially, come here, referee. Hold that, Pusio. Hold that. This referee has done my head in, man. That penalty decision and that yellow card is insane. Like, back-to-back 2 decisions like that is insane to do as a referee. The fact to give a clean challenge as a penalty and then didn't send off Cristante for that challenge is mental. But we get the lead back in this game. John Durant scores again. Which was to see. Move forward. The Frenchman blocks by Romero. I'd love to see that from him. The captain stepping in. Xavi Simons. Durant looking for a hat-trick on his debut. Inside the first half, can Durant get it? And Durant has scored a hat-trick on his Spurs debut. Inside 33 minutes. Talk about hitting the ground running. And your first game with people watching you, expecting you to fail after doing not like great in Saudi, failing in Turkey, and coming back from a loan in Russia, returning to a Spurs team that won the Champions League and finished 7th in the table, looking to prove it wasn't a fluke. It won the Champions League, scoring a hat-trick inside 32 minutes is insane. Simmons now didn't have the best season for us, but was a decent player for us in the squad. Durant again shoots Vilar there, this time denies him. Kudus wraps it, top corner. It's 4-1, this game's done. Rome is falling for a second time. And it's Spurs who this time are tearing down the walls of Rome to conquer them. Yeah, but I thought Roma were going to give us a good challenge in this game. I really did, but we are just cooking them. And I'm glad to see that, actually, to be fair. Here's Soleil to the baller. Van der Ven steals it off him. Wesley gets it off the Dutchman. Romero, good defending there from him. To Mohamed Kudus. Gets it back into the Dutchman. He chops inside, he shoots, and it's not 5. It probably should have been 5 right there. Hermoso to Kone, bottom of the top. Finds Matthias Soleil, who's been the best player in this game, over to Dovbyk. I'm just not going to talk about that goal because that shouldn't have gone in. That shot should be saving every other week from a keeper. It's a weak strike straight at him. Great interception. And James Maddison. Great move there, Tell. Back into Maddison. And Maddison makes it 5-2. You can know the Spurs fans erupt. As James Maddison, back from his injury, scores. And right on the mark of a great finish as well. Great play to link it up as well. Matthias Tell patiently waiting for Maddison to make the run. First time, rifles it in the back of the net. What a game this has been. Some dodgy refereeing at the beginning, yes, and the goals we conceded have been questionable to say the least in terms of a dodgy penalty, and the second goal was, it should have been saved, but performance-wise, we've looked good. Porro intercepts. What a game he's had. One last chance, Tell. Oh, there's so much open space there. But we get a win, 5-2. We beat Roma in the UEFA Super Cup final after winning the Champions League last season, and they won the Europa League. We beat them here. And well, what a game it was for my team. Like I said, the only player I'm kind of worried about this season is Van der Ven. He didn't play great in this game. Archie Gray was decent. He wasn't great, but he wasn't bad. It was decent. It was passable. But Van der Ven at centre-back didn't have much involvement anywhere, but was step up to lift the UEFA Super Cup, a second European trophy as Spurs manager, after winning the Champions League last season. We proved it wasn't a fluke and win the Super Cup to prove that Spurs are a top team these days as me as manager. We're hoping to build off this win going into the rest of this episode, and we'll just get into the rest of the episode and maybe more transfers to come, depending on transfers out of the team as well. And for the next game, we're going to play is up against Aston Villa here in the Premier. Currently, have gone 2 for 2 in wins. Will be Everton and Sheffield United in our games. They've also gone 2 for 2 and currently sit just below us in the table, as we're currently top of the table. They're currently second after 2 games played. And this game's also going to be a big test again for Van der Ven and Archie-Gray. Van der Ven, if his heart doesn't seem into this team, I might try to do a swap deal for a big defender that we could bring into the team, or maybe if a big team comes in for him, I'll just accept the transfer that comes in for him. So I don't want to sell him. He's a great defender in game, yes, but I felt like in the last game he wasn't as good as he used to be. I felt like Romero massively stepped up in that last game to defend for us. Perro did great. Gallagher and Archie-Gray stepped in. Jed Spence did some good defending as well. But let's get into the game against. Actually, you know what? For this game, Pat Saw is going to play alongside Gallagher in midfield. I feel like that's going to be decent for us. And other than that, let's keep it as it is with other players on the bench, etc. And Alfie Devine, we're taking with us. Now, I feel like this is a bigger game. We can't take Alfie Devine with us for this one. Let's get into this one now. Up against Villa. One change to the team, Pat Sorin at CDM alongside Gallagher to see how he plays in the squad. And hopefully we can beat Villa here at home. We're out wide to Kudus. Porro's been a player that's been linked away to Atletico Madrid, Man City. I've looked into him, Real Madrid, as Kudus inside it to Charlie Simmons. Back across into Matthias Telly, rifles it goalwards and scores. Another quick start for us, similar to the game against Roma in the Super Cup. We scored quickly. And Matthias Telly on the score sheet. I said last season, started at left wing, then moved to striking at back to left wing for this season. Will be a big player for us in the squad. A player that I really like in this game. He's just great in front of goal. His pace, his dribbling and his shooting is incredible. His passing could be better. With the players around him like Xavi Simmons, you know, and some great passes in the defence, or not the defence, midfield as well. You know, like Gallagher, Pat Saw, great, decent passer. You don't really need him to have the best passing if he can score goals. Ball into the box, and that's got to be Porros to deal with, and he's smashed done so before Rodgers could head that goalwards. Okay, that's a bad pass from Van der Ven. Is that him or the game? Or both? Rodgers, if we can see it at the end of this, it's going to be big for Van der Ven. That's actually not looking good for Van der Ven. He misplaces an easy pass, and we concede because of it. This play's pass has really changed this game. As they've been all over us, we've struggled to get the ball forward since then. But here we go. Kudus with space into Duran, takes it down, and Duran with the time. Nah. How do you not score there? Martinez didn't even save it, he just hit him. That's annoyed me, that's really annoyed me. The fact we didn't score there, that should have been a goal. Jed Spence takes it down. Romero, the captain on the turn, the Argentine, hits it, and Onana blocks it. It's kept inside, Martin keeps it, and we're level at the break, and a game we should be winning. Kudus steals it for us. Tell to Simmons. Over the top, deflected by Konza, but Tell gets it down, and Tell shoots and scores. And Matthias Tell doubles his goal tally and gets us a 1-goal lead in this game. And a bit of fortune favoured us there, because it did hit the defender. It would have been handball against Ezra Konza, but it fell down to Tell. He managed to control it and find the back of the net with a great finish there to make it 2-1 to us. Well, right now after this game, if a big offer comes in for Van der Ven, I'm looking likely to accept it, because he's not really playing well for us right now. To Van der Ven, and it's passed it straight to Ollie Watkins. If we concede another goal like this, there we go, Pat Saw. How's it gone back to them? Here's Jed Spence. Trubin gets it up and away. Duran wins the header. Matthias Tell trying to find Duran again. He gets it. Duran, lovely fighting there for the ball. Gets it through to Tell. And Matthias Tell gets a hat-trick, and Duran, come celebrate with us, lad. You deserve the assist there. That is great. Centre forward play from John Duran. Heads the ball down to Tell, who gets it back into it, makes a run. And Duran with the physicality fought for the ball there, kept it, and found the pass. And it's 3-1 here. Tell with a hat-trick. Going to make a change or two now, just to see out the rest of the game. But that's great centre forward play from John Duran, and a great finish again from Matthias Tell, who's really played well in this game. Bergvall to Gallagher. You're not quite going to go, why not? Hits it from range, power strike, not the best. Considering that's a power shot, didn't really feel like a power shot. Getting Morgan Rogers. That's done great there, and it's an easy save there for Truban, no. Ball falling to Solanke. You know what, Solanke, why not? I was going to say Trivella's shot, but he didn't go for the Trivella for some reason there. Held L2 there as well, but it's a 3-1 win against Villa. The only goal we conceded was because a mistake from Van de Ven. Midfield-wise, we looked good. Saw played decent. You know, Gallagher played incredible as always. I just feel like right now, midfield, we don't really need a change. Defensively, we technically don't need a change because Van de Ven is a good defender in game. But as we'll see by the stats of his performance, he got a 6.8. Romero got a 6.3, sorry, not a 6.8 for Romero, who should have been higher. He made a bunch of good interceptions for us. But Van de Ven, I just feel like hasn't performed as well as he did last season. Maybe he wanted a big transfer, hasn't happened for him. And to be fair, Pap Saw did well in midfield, as you can see. And Bergvall probably shouldn't have better, but he got a 6.3. And overall, pretty decent performance from everyone. I mean, Duran, he got an assist and played great for that assist that he did get. And Matthias Tel with the man of the match performance with a 10.0 rating with a hat-trick. I just feel like right now there's a few transfers we could make. And if we do make them, they're going to be big transfers for the team. Which if they are going to happen, they're going to happen right now. If not, it might happen next episode in January. Alright, so next up is a trip to Anfield to take on Liverpool. As you can see, Van de Ven and Romero are still here. We didn't get any big offers for them on deadline day, so they're still here at the club. We did get an offer from Man City for Van de Ven, which I tried to get at least about 55 million for him, because that's the highest value we could have got from him in-game for some reason is 60 million. Even in real life, Spurs are going to look for like upwards of 90 to 100 million for him. But Man City didn't want to make the deal. I said, I spent all the money on Kulusevski pretty much. I spent 80 million on him. So Santi Van de Ven from us would have been a lot to do as well. And they didn't have the money to do so. Let's get into this one now. Gray back in midfield for this game alongside Gallagher. Not that Saul played bad. He played pretty decent in that last game. But I feel like I want to give Gray another chance alongside Van de Ven in midfield. And hopefully Van de Ven can start to get back into the form he did for his last season. And hopefully can show that his heart still is in this team. I can see he's happy, as you can see with his little player, a smiley face thing, but seemingly on the pitch, he's not showing the same, attitude as he did last season. Let's get into the game against Liverpool though, and hopefully beat them here. Great. Kudus, Gallagher. Here is great. Back into Kudus. He was on a turn with Coker, so just wanted to defend him. Back into Allison, who hoofs it away. For a throw into us though. And Kirkes gets beat by Kudus, and Kirkes though goes in and takes him out in the same challenge, but wins the throw-in, or gets the throw-in. Archie Gray, Matthias Tel, Van Dijk. No penalty is interesting there, referee. He did just push him out of the way and injure him. 27 minutes in, it's been a very boring game. Simmons now. Can send it through, looking for Mohamed Kudus here. Can shoot first time. Kudus shoots and Alisson though saves it. On a half an hour mark, we get a corner here. Matthias Tel inside. Can he finesse it? Tel blocked there as he finessed it. Verts. Good challenge from Gallagher. Kudus now on a break. Can get up to Duran. But McCartney just needed to be a bit quicker there. That hold attack. Spence still is at Gallagher now. We can try it again. Round two. The same attack. This time Simmons is there to get the ball to. Ball over top looking for Kudus. He does so. It is also going to be a free kick for handball though, since we didn't get a chance there. We get advantage in our favour. We get a free kick here, in which Pedro Porro is our best free kick taker, so we are going to give it to him. And I'm just going to try and go for power here. Pedro Porro, can he rifle this one into the back of the net? The Spaniard, deflected. Gakpo heads it away, and we can't get to the loose ball. Isaac shoots. That's our first shot of the game. Archie Gray. Great ball forward into Tel. He's got the space shooter, Frimpong, getting forward, and Van Dijk. Beaten by Matthias Tell, wraps it into the far corner. That's what we want to see. And Matthias Tell gets his 4th goal of the season after getting a hat-trick against Villa. He continues his goal-scoring form against against Liverpool. And well, that's a great pass, by the way, from Archie Gray. Frimpong, yes, left him acres of space to pass the ball into, but he was still under pressure. And then Matthias Tell as well chops inside, wraps it into the far corner, makes it 1-0 to us. After a very boring game, we finally get the opening goal. And hopefully that opens the game a bit up now. And it's a bit more open so we can get more goals and also a bit more entertainment in this one. But then again, a win is a win. Good move here, Tell. Can he get a second goal? Tell wraps it, Alisson. Fairly comfortable save there to make. Okay, well, Kieran up against his fellow Italian in Adoji, who brought on for the fresh legs against him. And Adoji's done incredible there, and it's done even better to keep it as well. Good to see that from him. Mikey Moore, Maddison. Tell sends it through to Mikey Moore. Plays it into the box, looking for Odobert, but Marquinhos is there before Odobert could really get to it. The Dutchman gets it to Wirtz, who's blocked by Sart. And Maddison can send Mikey Moore in. He gets the header Frimpong. And Mikey Moore just slightly overruns it. That touch there last second is frustrating. I wanted to chip Addison as well there, but that last touch just made it impossible for us to do so. When Gakpo charging forward, gives the ball away for an unnecessary pass. Tell. Maddison through to the Frenchman, who scores again. But he can't be stopped. And who said FC isn't realistic? Because Liverpool are awful right now when we're playing against them. They've done nothing attacking wise. Their best chance was Alazade Isak on a turn shooting for no reason. You probably have seen barely any highlights from this game because barely anything's happened. But Matthias Tell gets 2 goals. Maddison with a great assist there. And Tell finds the back of the net before being wiped out. And that's 5 goals for Tell this season. And he scores at left wing and strike it in the same game. Showing that he's a very versatile player that can score a bunch of goals for us. Well, it's going to be another 3 points against Liverpool and maybe more goals. Odobert. Maddison. Back at the Saw. Mikey Moore. Oh, Van Dijk blocks him. And that's going to be the end of the game. A 2-0 win at Anfield against an awful Liverpool team. They just didn't turn up to this game at any moment. From the opening bell, they pressed us, yes, but they had one shot which I mentioned was the Isak turn and shoot. Matthias Tell, best player of the game for us. And overall, to be fair, it wasn't really a game that Van de Ven really could be judged on because Liverpool didn't do anything attacking wise. But he did play decent, and we get another big 3 points for ourselves this season to remain undefeated in the league. And well, a week after beating Liverpool, we now face Manchester City, the team that brought Kulusevski from us for 80 million. Almost could have got Van de Ven if they decided not to pull out the deal and spent 60 million on him. They could have had him in the team, or we could have brought in someone else to replace Van de Ven in the squad. But I'm kind of glad we didn't. I feel like perhaps I want to start in midfield again for this game. And I could start Maddison. Am I mental for starting Maddison over Xavi Simons for this game? I don't know. Because I can't even speak. It doesn't have the playmaker plus, or double pluses, or, shadow striker double pluses. So I'm going to keep Simmons in the starting 11 for this game as well. And keep the bench as it is for now as well. And go into this game with this team. I feel like I'm going to take Danzo instead of Vuskovic for the pace, just in case we need to bring on a centre-back. I'd rather have Danzo with a pace. And also he's not happy about game time right now, so we need to give him a bit more game time in the squad. I think he's played the same amount against Romero and Van de Ven, which is 4. As this is only game week 5, by the way, of the Premier League season. So we've had a fairly tough start to the season. 2 first games we played were Everton and Sheffield United, easy games for us. But then Aston Villa, into Liverpool, into Man City is a hard, 3 weeks of football. Well, Man City last season didn't win the Premier League title, also won it by a good margin in the end. But we did beat Man City when we played them. Matthias Tell Lovely turn there from the Frenchman. He's in great scoring form right now. Matthias Todd denied by Donnarumma though. From opened the scoring in this game. As Pepper's still the manager for them. It might be the first crowd where Arsenal and Man City have not, and Liverpool have not sacked their managers at the start of the second season. Thiel, there we go. He's undeniable right now. He is in insane form. 6 goals in 4 games in the Prem. 3 of them were against Aston Villa. And he scores there against Man City. The first shot he had denied by that man Donnarumma. The second one, the Italian had no chance against. It comes to a measure of the box, 1 touch, opens it up, and strikes it goalwards, and makes it 1-0 to us here in the home stadium. And Jed Spence with the assist, and a great finish there. Jed Spence, great challenge. Here is Xavi Simons, that's going to shoot that, but Rodri dives in to stop us, but it comes here to Simons, who opens it up, and Donnarumma makes a good save there. Gallagher blocks, and City right now can't get out of their own half. Gallagher, Simons, through to Matthias Tell. Could he score again? Matthias Tell. It's offside though. Can I see the line? I need to see the offside line, not going to lie. And we're not going to get to see it. It didn't look offside to me, but sure. And Gallagher blocks again. CRB. We're doing the Man City to Man City right now. We're just not letting them breathe. Or Kudus into Washandaran. Who did that? He should have scored there. Donnarumma, that's a great save. I need to still change his wrist tape colour. That should have been a goal there for Duran. Corner here for us. Romero trying to win it. And Romero does win it, but it's over the bar from the Argentinian. They've also been linked with Christian Pulisic, Adeyemi, etc. But I felt like I didn't want to change the team too much this season because, well, I really like the team we do have. And the players are playing well. And Matthias Tell showing what we didn't need to sign a left wing because he's stepping up this season, as he did last season as well. Reinders, Rodri. Inside Bernardo Silva, tame effort straight to Trubin. Kudus, Duran, Gallagher into Simons. Lovely play here. Kudus, please be onside. And he's not. Was behind his foot, basically. Bernardo Trevella's shot. You're not him, pal. Not sure I said the word pal. I didn't really say that word often, but it just kind of felt right for the situation there. So I told you to pass it there. If we can see the end of this, that is frustrating. Van der Ven, there we go. Maybe he just realised if it wants to transfer to a team like Real Madrid, he needs to perform well after making that challenge, because that's the first challenge he's made this season, if I'm not mistaken. I think he may have made one in the Super Cup, but it wasn't a hard one for him to make. Kudus twisting and turning, trying to find a way through. It's being tracked here. Kudus lifts it into the box. Interesting cross. No one really attacked it though. Xavi Simons opens it up, shoots. Comfortable save there for Donnarumma. Savinho. Holland. Oh no. Bernardo Silva, Trubin, what a save. Well, that's Bernardo Silva's last involvement. It's been the most attacking player in this game of Ruben Diaz. Takes it over the bar. Kulusevski, Romero defends his former teammate. Solanke, Maddison. Here's Odobert, and it's 2-0. A late winner for us here from Wilson Odobert off the bench. The bench clears to celebrate with him. As we get, this is a nice camera shot. Actually, I've not seen that in this game before. I don't think the drone shot above. That's a very nice camera angle. As Odobert scores the winner here. I think it was a 2-0 win against Man City, who were decent in this game, yes. But we deserved the win. We took our chance as well. Duran should have scored a third goal for us in this game at one point, but it is where it is. And Man City did have opportunities. Bernardo Silva was their best player. But in the end, he couldn't save them. Haaland and Ruben Diaz had a few opportunities, especially Ruben Diaz's header from a corner. And Kulusevski right now is probably wondering Did I make the right choice in joining Man City after leaving Spurs for 80 million? As we get a 2-0 win against them to remain undefeated on top of the table. But like I said, this is only game week 5. But thankfully from this point onwards, I believe we've got a few games we can sim to get this season going a bit more. Alright, so we're sitting forward about a month later, and in game week 8 we're taking on Chelsea here at Stamford Bridge, and right now we're top of the table on 19 points. They're currently 10th, but I think, Chelsea are a pretty decent team. Like Cole Palmer, Joao Pedro, Enzo Fernandez, and some other great players in their team. Let's get into this one. Perhaps our slots in midfield for this one, like Gallagher, and hopefully we can beat Chelsea again in this series. We beat them last season when we played them, and hopefully we can beat them again here at Stamford Bridge. Then and now, so maybe every time you load up the game it does get reset for some reason. That'd be stupid. But it actually could be the case, because I'll have a look after this game, actually, if it's turned itself back on. But we're playing some nice football here to start this game off. We show Simmons. Here to Matthias Tell. Matthias Tell, if he scores at the end of this, that's a great goal. Honestly, the football I've been playing recently in this game is incredible. And Matthias Tell, honestly, what a season he's having. 7 goals in 7 games now. Another quick start for us, but that football was insane. That's a YouTube short for you. You've seen this on TikTok, YouTube shorts, everywhere. Come and check out this series, because right now we are cooking with the Spurs team. And I recommend you check out the other promos I've done. Just a little bit of a sort of promo for you here. Robert Sanchez almost saved it, but we get the goal to open the scoring. 5 minutes in, we take the lead here. Wolves attacker. Ball into the box. Enzo Fernandez takes it down, and shoots and scores. They reply straight away. I just feel like none of our defenders locked onto that cross. No one defended it. I tried to there with, I think it was Romero. I tried to get to Enzo Fernandez in time. But when it was lofted in, none of our defenders, read it or were aware to it. I should see it's lifted in by Neto, and no one's marking Enzo Fernandez. And that's our 1-1 after that great start we had. We now concede, and it's 1-1 here. Matthias Tell. Well, Chelsea's defence has just opened up. Sorry, Simmons. It's 2-1, just like that. Whoever that Chelsea defender was that just stepped forward to let Simmons in needs to be taken off the pitch instantly. I keep forgetting to change Duran's wrist tape. I'll do it after this game. I'm going to do it after this game. I said it after the first game I used him, I think. And it's been a while since then. But yeah, I'm going to do it after this game. But Simmons has scored. Whoever that was right there, step it up. Substitute them right now, because that is awful from them. Him and Ultra battling out for that first in midfield position. Simmons saved by Sanchez. That's a good save there from him. Got to just give it to the Spaniard. He did great there to save that. Well, Matthias Tell drives into the box. He finesses it, and that's an easy goal for him to score. The second we took that corner, I was going to score at the end of it. Literally, when I took that corner, I knew I was scoring. And is Matthias Tell the best player in this game? So I don't think anyone I've used in Corona this year has been as consistent as Matthias Tell. Like, he is just unbelievable. It's like, just the way he plays is incredible. It just works. Every time I get the ball to him, I feel confident. There's only certain players in this game you have that with, and Matthias Tell is one of them for me. It's been a goal-heavy game. 4 of them so far, 3 of them for us, and 1 of them for Chelsea. And they're playing at home, so this is bad for them. Matthias Tell, there we go. Show Simmons. Duran. Feeding it through Mohamed Kudus, who could make it 4. And he has done. Duran gets the assist. If he doesn't score, he doesn't score. If he gets assists, I'm not going to be too mad. As Kudus makes it 4-1 here, we're going to sim the rest of this game, because, well, we have cooked Chelsea inside the first 40 minutes of football. This has been the same performance we had against Roma. Just annihilation from the opening whistle. And Kudus here scores to make it 4. It's had a fairly quiet season, to be fair, Mohamed Kudus. He scored a great goal, to be fair, in today's episode at one point. But it's been a bit quiet. But we score here to make it 4-1. As an update for Battlefield 6 this time, that's where we can maybe hear my PlayStation in the background making some noises. We're going to swim to the end. And it's going to be 4-3 in the end. They kind of got a comeback with Palmer and also Enzo getting goals for them. No, Palmer with 2 goals, actually. And well, as you can see, our final game of the episode is going to be Arsenal. We're sitting about a bunch of games ahead. I would show you, but there's not really much point in showing you the results that we had in between. But we're currently at the top of the table on 39 points. Arsenal was not second. Arsenal were in 6th. I'm not too sure what points they're on, but Man United are second behind us on 32 points. So a win here would be massive for us to get some ground on Man United, who are second in the table right now. Let's get into this one and hopefully defeat Arsenal here. Usually starting at left back as Marino boots up while I play for the high press start. I feel like they need to get rid of this at the game. It doesn't really work because it doesn't really work the way it needs to, where the AI, high press you right here and get the ball off you like it does IRL. I say that as I do it, but we get the ball back straight away and now we can counter ourselves here. And Duran. It's an Saliba there. I was hoping he could take that down and knock it past him, but not to be the case. And she made a big point of it. Asking I was going to do it. Simmons shoots straight into the goal. Right there. I do it as part of the outro. That's what I do. It'll be part of the outro where I change his wrist tape colour. Traparo tracking down Martinelli. And okay, we take it. We take it. Already played there. Simmons leads it forward into Duran. Can he finally get another goal for himself? He hasn't scored in a played game since that Super Cup final. He hasn't done it again. Someone in Rome has cursed him. A Roma fan cursed him not to score when we play him in a played game. He's scoring a bunch in simulator games, but he hasn't scored in a played game since that game. Romero. Coming out of Gabriel, heads it away. There comes Saka. Simmons, it's a bad pass there from Timber. And hopefully we can pay. But over the top, that's gone towards Kudus, who gets it down to John Duran, who heads it, and Raya makes the save. Doji, Archie Gray, Chevy Simmons. Duran is going to be offside into. Duran hits it anyway and hits the crossbar. Wenger challenge. Tell. There's Duran and Matthias Tell. Here it goes again. Can he rescue us? And he caught Raya. What a save. Raya is saving them. Literally, right now. Kudus. The finesse shot wasn't the option there. Down. So it's Ruckus in the box to aim for. The Brazilian's going to run it to the byline. Cut it back to Marino. Marino's going to run goalwards and shoot. And as if we conceded there, that is such a poor... I'm not playing Ultimate Team. Why have I just conceded that goal? After the dominance we've had in this game, we should be like 3 goals up and we're losing 1-0 down to the first chance of the game. And it's such a poor goal to concede. That's actually really not upset me, but frustrated me. Thank you, word of God, for this. We're making changes. Spence, more of an impact on the end than those you had already. Madison. Into Tell, can Tell. Yes. Let's get the ball and score again. We're not drawing this game, we're not losing this game, we're winning this game. Madison, Tell. No. Oh, we missed a challenge as well. What is going on? Why can't we do anything in this game? It's a 1-1 draw against Arsenal. We should have won this game. No, Spurs fans don't celebrate. We should have won this game. That goal we conceded. I've had so much fun in this episode up until this game right here. I was in such a good mood, honestly. But drawing this game has really just put a damper on everything. Because that goal we conceded... I don't want to see it again, actually. Let's just get the outro done. You can see, like I said, I'm a man of my word in the outro. I'm showing you that I finally changed the wrist tape to navy blue tape to match the kit of Spurs. And yeah, it's been such an odd episode for John Duran. The first game he scored, 3 goals, and since then he hasn't scored in a played game. Yes, he's had so many chances though. That's the one thing. Against Spurs, he had so many chances. Not Spurs. Against Arsenal, he had like 3 or 4 chances and he should have scored. Same with Aston Villa. But you can see Matthias Tell, 13 goals and 3 assists so far for him this season. John Duran, 12 and 4. Like I said, he's scoring a bunch in sim games, which is great for us. But in the played games, he's not scored a goal since that Roma game, which was the very first game of the episode. And Mohamed Kudus 5 and 2. Solanke in the second team, 5 and 3. Simmons in the first team, 4 goals and 10 assists. A great performance from him so far. And Mikey Moore doing pretty well, showing why I decided to keep him around this season with 4 goals and 3 assists from himself at left wing, mainly for the second team. But yeah, we do have a ludicrous amount of money. We have 308 million to spend. And right now we're in the Prem. We are looking pretty good. In the FA Cup, we got Crystal Palace in the quarterfinals. I think I've got to sim this. And we should be through to not the FA Cup, the Carabao Cup, sorry. In the Premier League, we are top of the table on 40 points, still undefeated, as you can see, on 40 points, 5 points ahead of Man City, who are second place right now. But yeah, that draw against Arsenal really has frustrated me, but in the Champions League, I believe we are currently in the top 8, so we're looking pretty good in that one with 2 games left to play, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, we are second, okay? We've only lost 1 game, and we're looking pretty good. But yeah, right now the team is playing great. Duran is getting unlucky not to score like a hat-trick every game pretty much. Matthias Tell is carrying us at times in the attack with the goals that he's scoring. Not really carrying us, but is being the standout player. Trubin, up to an 85 rating, came in at an 82, is now an 85. The bench is looking pretty good. As you can see, we're looking great with backups who were brought in the team, especially the likes of Wan-Bissaka were brought in to be the backup right back in the team. So we didn't make many signings with the money we do have, but I felt like I didn't want to make like 7 signings for this team. I wanted to see how far this team can go in half a season. And right now we're top of the table. We're looking pretty good in the Champions League. And honestly, I don't know if I want to make more changes. It's up to you guys down below. I think the only change we need to make right now, if we do need to make one, is maybe a world-class midfielder instead of Archie Gray. But at the same time, I want to win the Champions League with Archie Gray midfield. I think that it means more than signing like a Camavinga, a Schumann, a Kimmich, an Angelo Stiller, someone like that, like a Matej Guendouzi, who you guys have suggested in the comments. So I think I'm going to keep the team as it is, but we do have 305 million, so it's kind of weird having 305 million and not spending it. But I don't know what we need, honestly. The first team doesn't need anything, in my opinion. The bench doesn't need anything. Like, we're looking great. Maybe a better backup striker than Solanke could be what we do. That could be the only sign we'll make. We could spend big on a better backup striker. That could be smart to do. So drop in the comments below what you think we should do. And that's going to call it for this one. You're going to enjoy the episode. Drop a like and subscribe. And as always, thank you for watching. And goodbye. Alright, so to start today's episode off, we're going to make a big signing, possibly 2 big signings in today's episode, or maybe 3 big signings, depending on what we do in this episode and what's possible for us to do. We've got 305 million to spend, so money is not an issue for us right now. But we're planning to sign a world-class CDM. Archie Gray is great, but there's a player that you guys have commented down below that you would like to see us sign in this team. We're going to bring in today's episode, probably the title and thumbnail of the episode, and possibly also Romero could be leaving us as a captain. It would be a big play for us to lose. He's a great player for us in the squad, and he obviously did win the Champions League with us last season, and looking to do the double this season and win the Premier League and the FA Cup, Carabao Cup, etc. alongside another Champions League with us. But if we get a big offer for him, or maybe a swap deal that I might do with maybe Barcelona for a certain player in their team who you guys want to see us sign, and possibly that could happen. And also a world-class striker to back up John Duran, who's been great for us in this team so far. Hasn't scored as many goals in played games as we expected after scoring 3 in his first game inside 35 minutes. And since then, he's struggled to really score in played games. It's been Matthias Tell, who's been getting all the goals in played games most of the time. Let's get into the transfer window and sign at least 2 players to massively improve this team. And the first signing to join us here for 75 million from Newcastle is Sandro Tonali, the former AC Milan midfielder, now 87 rated in the game, a world-class midfielder. Like I mentioned, we're going to bring into the team to replace Archie Gray. And nothing against Archie Gray, it's been incredible for me in the team. I do really like him. But as Sandro Tonali and also Conor Gallagher is a much better midfield for us to hopefully go on to win the Premier League, or to win everything this season. We're looking to win 4 trophies in the season, as well as the Super Cup at the start. And Tonali is a big signing here for 75 million, but we've got one more to show you up next. And well, we didn't get the animation for the second one, but it's going to be Ronald Araujo who's joining us from Barcelona. Basically, Barca came in for Ramiro. Actually happened in the game, which I didn't expect to happen. They came in for Ramiro at the start of the transfer window, and I said, you know what? Let's swap Ramiro for Araujo. You guys wanted that to happen in the comments down below, so it made it happen. Araujo is now a Spurs player. Ramiro's obviously gone to Barcelona, and the question is, who should now be our captain? Now Ramiro's left. It's gone to Gallagher, who obviously is a new signing for Spurs. And obviously, I think I'm going to give it to, probably, I don't know who to give it to realistically. I feel like we might as well give it to Pedro Porro, for now. He's been the player that's been here the longest in the first team anyway. I feel like, yeah, he's been there longer than Mickey Van der Ven, I think. And yeah, the new team now looking pretty good. Araujo and Tonali into the team does improve as well. Pace-wise, Araujo is better. Defensively, not as good, but play style's better. I think is better than Ramiro in game. And we need to make one more signing, which I think is going to be a world-class striker to back up Duran in the team. And becoming our backup striker to John Duran is going to be Sergio Guirassy, the 30-year-old 85 rated striker, signed for 40 million from Dortmund. Obviously, a very, very good striker we can bring into the team. Did great at Stuttgart before joining Dortmund. Has done great things for them. Since being there, he's going to sign here for us to be an experienced backup player. To obviously, like I said, John Duran as striker. If Duran doesn't start scoring more in played games, and Guirassy could take over. He's technically better as a striker, but pace-wise is a lot lower than Duran. Has got 88 pace, if I'm not mistaken. But Guirassy is our final signing of this window. Let's get into our first big game of today's episode. And after making those big signings, our first game is going to be Arsenal away from home at the Emirates. And last episode, we did draw against them in a game we should have won. So let's get into this one and get some revenge for that draw they handed us last episode. You can see the table right now. Despite us being undefeated, Man City are still close to us, and even Liverpool and Man United aren't too far away realistically. Arsenal not really as well, and even Brighton are only 10 points behind us in the table. So if we do what Arsenal are doing right now, which is dropping points, I literally drew today against Wolves 2-2 to drop even more points in the title race, and Man City now being closest behind them in the table, which I said from the start of the season. I've always said to people who've asked me, like, do I think Arsenal will win the league? And I said no. Because they don't have what it takes. They lose too many games. They draw too many games. The games they need to win, they don't. And Man City are a team that when they need to win, most of the time, they win. Which is why I think the team I support, Man City, unbiasedly anyway, will win the league title this season IRL. But let's get into this series and hopefully, this first game of the episode, up against Arsenal, and hopefully get some more points clear on Man City, who are most likely going to beat Sheffield United, though, to keep behind us. But a win here for us is big, though, and hopefully to avenge a draw. Last episode, our new signings of Araujo and Tonali made their debuts in this game as well. Tonali makes his debut in the team. Araujo at centre-back as well, making his debut. Matthias Tell looking to continue where he left off last episode, but David Raya does what he did last episode against us, which is make a big save. So we drew against Arsenal in that game, which we deserve to win, but it is where it is. And that they need to fix that. From corners there, that pass is always awful. Ball to the back stick, and that's overhit though. Again, he is a player that Spurs fans are expecting to leave next season, so seeing him as captain might not be the most realistic. But listen with Pedro Porro, who's been linked away with recent talks of it's a Bayern Munich, Man City. Now, like Madrid could have said, puts that far wide of the post though. Needs to do better with that attempt. Duran through, and Kudus can't open the scoring. Reyes, I thought Lodrivan would be better for us there, but I should have gone power. Madueke down here to Urian Timber. That's good defending from Madoji. He can get the ball away as well. It's a great pass into Matthias Tell. Can drive it forward into John Duran and get it to Simmons, who can do the same. He can now release Duran forward, and Duran. How was Reyes? Duran is cursed, I swear, man. He scored his 3 goals against Roma, and I don't think I've scored in a played game with him since. Maybe one goal. But someone cursed him after that game. Araujo in the centre. Can the Uruguayan win the header? Araujo does. And Raya makes the save. Raya is OP, man. Okay, Martinelli. Jokrez. Odegaard. Araujo blocks. He's having a great game so far, Araujo. Almost scored a goal. Has defended well. And Duran feeds through Matthias Tell. Matthias Tell finally opens the scoring just before the half-time break. We finally get the go-ahead goal in this game, as we deserve. And while Duran hasn't been scoring as much in played games, But he's been getting a bunch of assists, which is why I don't mind him doing what he's doing. But with now Garassi behind him, he's going to get a chance at some point. I might bring him on in the second half, or maybe in the 60th minute. But yeah, Matthias Sovereign's free gets his 12th goal in 17 games in the Prem. He's having an insane season in this team. Like, he is unbelievably good at that left wing position, cutting in on his right foot and finessing it into the far corner and scoring goals for us. Here was Xavi Simons. Releases Mohamed Kudus. You can draw that into John Duran. And Duran scores. You love to see it. Duran finally gets a goal in the played game since that Roma game. If you didn't watch last episode, you don't know what I mean by that, but I recommend you go back and check out the full series so far and the other content on the channel. But Duran finally gets a goal in the played game since that Super Cup final, which was his debut. Kudus shows it in. Duran was onside. Simple finish for him. Makes it 2-0. And Arsenal haven't done anything in this game. And surprisingly, they were better away from home. Also, we're playing in the Emirates, and also in this game, attacking-wise, and even defensively, have been poor. But in the last episode, in that 1-1 draw they got against us, they were a lot better than this. As Kudus just simply stands in the way and gets the ball. Lovely bit of skill there from Mohamed Kudus. Having tracked down by Lewis Skelly, but it's not going to get there. As Kudus is still going. Kudus, how has Saliba got there before the shot was taken? Gyökeres blocked by Van der Ven. Okay, that's not the skill move that I wanted their game. That's completely ruined everything there. And also might score. Oh, Martinelli actually did be in there. He shoots. And what a save by Trubin. Oh no, the game. What have you done there? What have you done there? What have you done there? I'm going to concede. I can feel it coming because this game is doing just a lot of stuff I'm not telling it to do right now. Garassi. That's a free kick, surely, ref. How is that not a foul? But somehow Tonali in there, but Rice steals it. This game has become hectic at the end. And Gyökeres denied by Trubin again. From him. And Tonali, I just overran the ball. I wanted to pass it out wide to Bergfeld. It's a 2-0 win, though. Away from home at the Emirates. A big 3 points for us. He avenged the drop points we had against him last episode. Duran gets a goal for the first time in a while in a played game. And Matthias Tell continues what he was doing. If it wasn't for Trubin, we would have drew this game because... And also, to be fair, Brian made some big saves in the first half, but in the last 20 or so minutes of this game, we just couldn't do anything. I'm not too sure what changed, but our team just fell off massively. But luckily, we had already won the game by then. Alright, so next up we're taking on Manchester United here on deadline day. They currently are 9 points behind us in the table in 4th place. Let's get into this one. And by the way, the game we're going to play next is literally the next game week against Manchester City. So that's going to be a big game to play after this one. Let's get into this one now and hopefully do exactly what we did against Arsenal. And let's walk out of this with the 3 points at home. We expected him to link up with his former manager at Spurs, but instead joined United, which kind of worked out for him in the end. Ball in there, looking for Duran on the header. Duran's header saved by Lamens in goal. Boom out. Edoji doesn't do that as well, but Trubin gets the easy catch there. Duran, love to see that from him. Ball forward into Mohamed Kudus. And Kudus now shoots, and Lamens missed a big save. Duran hit to Simons. Simons is taken out from behind. So we're about to put the ball through to John Duran. That should be a red card for Man United. But no, Malik could be a yellow for mine. No, it's going to be a red card for Manu. And that is fair. He denied a goal scored opportunity from behind. And there's a rash challenge there from him. And Manu gets sent off. I mean, I get a free kick in a pretty dangerous position. And we're going to give it to Sandro Tonali. It's going to be an interesting run up here for us to try and score with. Tonali going to get his first goal in the Spurs shirt from a free kick. He hits it just over the roof of the net though. Carajo intercepts. Duran. You know, why not Duran from here? Finesse shot. Denied by Lomenzo. Now from the corner, Araujo, he should have a pretty good chance at winning this header now. They're down to, they've got one last man in there. Araujo denied by Martinez, so from the header, interesting. Good steal there from Duran. Needs a pass though. Gallagher. Hit to Kudus, but Malacia gets the ball off as Duran. You know, why not Duran? Not quite the ability from shots that like he does of IRL, as he just completely, I don't even know what happened there. Seeing the extra man ability in midfield for us. Conor Gallagher now. Hits it wide of the post. Oh, Martinez, what was that? Thank you. He puts his hand up, but there's no apologising that can save you from that error. And John Duran scores. It's a gift from United. Courtesy of Alessandro Martinez. And probably the easiest goal Duran will ever score for us. It just gets past the ball and wraps it into the far corner, into the top corner, sorry. And makes it 1-0 against 10-man Man United. Loose ball here. Gallagher. Tell on the turn. Oh, should have taken the shot. Mazraoui gets the ball off us there. Simmons releases. Mohamed Kudus. Now Duran. Deflected by Mazraoui out for a corner. Blocked by Araujo. Come on, lads. We're against 10-man Man United and we can't beat them more than 1-0. What's happening here? We annihilated Roma, who won the Europa League in the Super Cup, and against 10-man Man United here. Yes, they're fourth in the table. Duran, long shots in this game are just useless. Like, well, I feel like Man United are going to score with their first shot of the game, like Arsenal did, and actually get a draw here. Because right now, we really can't score. We can't even create chances right now. There we go, Duran. Kudus, why are you just standing there? He cuts it back. Not the pass I wanted, but we'll make it work. Tonali. Bruno blocks. Every shot I take or cross I try to do, it's blocked, man, right now. This is actually frustrating me, this game. Despite us winning, we should be winning by more goals. Araujo. Poor header. Okay, Simmons. Kudus, please. There we go. Finally. As if it's taken us this long to get an actual deserved goal in this game. I'm not sure why Kudus isn't celebrating, but he's just teleported for the LED board there. But he scores to make it 2-0 and finally put this game to bed. I'm not playing the rest. Actually, I might as well play the rest of it, just in case there's any like injuries or anything that happens if I sim it. But this has been such a disappointing performance from the team. And we haven't played bad either. That's the worst part. We played great, but we just haven't scored goals up until right here. And that's our first proper goal of the game. The first one was actually gifted to us. This game is effectively 1-0 because that first goal realistic shouldn't have happened. Martinez made a massive error. Duran releases Tell. It's a very quiet game, Matthias Tell. But he might be able to make up for it here with Lomenzo with a save. Last chance of the game with the corner. I play it short. That's just why it's constantly Pedro Porro here now. But Simmons. Not the best effort. It's a 2-0 win. We take it. Well, it should have been better against a 10-man United side. We should have won this game like 3 or 4 goals, if not more. All right, so next up, like I said, is Manchester City here. They're currently on 9 points behind us in the table in the second place. So let's get into this one and hopefully defeat Man City here. Obviously, they have signed one of our players, Dejan Kulusevski, at the start of the season. They signed him for 80 million from us. When we played against him last episode, he came on and didn't really do anything against us. He came on pretty late though in the game that was already won for us. Matthias Tell. It's incredible there from the Frenchman. Could he score? Donnarumma makes a save. Simmons. Can Araujo do what he did against Arsenal and win a header here and maybe get himself a goal here as Araujo wins the header, but it's wide of the post. Lovely play here being brought up by us. Duran sends through Matthias, so he's got Mark Gay ahead of him. Gay does well there. Just wanted to try and knock it for his legs there, but the skill move I wanted didn't happen. Kudus, Duran, Simmons scores. I had to take the shot there, and Xavi Simmons opens the scoring. Gets seventh goal of the season for us, number 7, and his 7th goal. You'd have to see it. It's a big goal for us in this game, as a Vuvuzelas going off in the pub there. And Simmons played for. I had to take the shot because Rico Lewis and Mark Gay were going to get there before he could play a pass or anything. And the Dutchman finds the back of the net to put us ahead in this one here. Didn't react to what I tried to do there. It's a perfect storm of everything there. Simmons steals it off them now. And Duran should have scored. Poor pass from him. Pedro Porro intercepts. Simmons, Gallagher to Duran. Simmons back through to him. And Duran makes it 2-0. And it seems the curse has been lifted on John Duran because he's now scoring goals in played games, which you'll have to see. And it's 2-0 here to us at the Etihad. And Man City fans are wondering what's happened to their team. They were 9 points behind us going into this game, looking like they're going to give us a title fight. And right now they're not showing any fight in this game. They've not done anything against us attacking wise in this game, similar to Arsenal and Man United so far. They haven't. I don't think we conceded many, like 2 or 3 chances, and that was it in the Arsenal game where Truba made some big saves. But other than that, Man United didn't do anything attacking wise towards the end. They did a few things, and Man City so far have done nothing attacking wise. We had to go Savinho. If I say that and concede shot and kick off, there we go, Tonali, thank you. And we get another goal here. Matthias Tell. Mark Gay, he makes the error. And Tell makes him pay. And it's 3-0 here. Inside the first half. And we are playing some great football. But I am disappointed in Man City. I thought that was going to be a good game for us. Last time we played them, they were pretty decent. But so far, they just haven't topped to this game. Gahey stepped in there, didn't need to do so. Should have kept running with Matthias Tell. And Donnarumma couldn't make the save he probably should do. Matthias Tell, I just wanted him to take one more touch there and shoot. But look, we get to see, that's the half-time whistle. And the Man City fans are relentlessly booing their team. I would be as well if I was there. And it's sim to the end, and it ends up being a 3-0 win for us with no injuries, which was to see. And the 3 points against a very, very poor City team who managed one shot in the whole game. Alright, so next up we're taking on Liverpool, currently 3rd in the table, joint 2nd with Man City on 60 points. We're top of the table on 69 points, so we're 9 points ahead of them going into this game. And if we beat them, obviously that means we go 12 points clear of Liverpool. If Man City win their game, they'll still be behind us by a decent margin, but we at least get some more ground on another team behind us in the table. Let's get into this game now, and hopefully continue our great form in today's episode and beat another big team in the Prem. Liverpool are going to be good against us, because Liverpool in this series have been awful against us every time we faced them. There's Kirkez in a gap. Isak shoots, and Trubin is offside anyway, but Trubin should have caught that shot, but he parried it out for a corner. And we can win the header, get it to Conor Gallagher here, can drive it forward. Give it to Matthias Tell. Great move there from the Frenchman. He shoots on his left foot for some reason. Why is he shooting a finesse shot on his left foot there? He's not even left footed, he's right footed. Xavi Simmons now. Again, the stadium shadows are back on for some reason. I just wish that setting actually worked. Simmons with that from you. That is meant to go to Tell. It's so obvious it's trying to go to Tell. He's wide open, directly ahead of Simmons. Why is it trying to pass it to John Duran? Kudus making a good run here. The first touch is going to help us, and it does. Tell shoots first time. That's a great goal. Yeah, but the reason why I said that first touch was going to help us because basically I was waiting for that first touch to go wrong with Mohamed Kudus there. It was a make or break moment. If he took a bad first touch, I wasn't going to score there. But he took that touch of his chest perfectly right there, and that set us up perfectly for this goal. Inside, Matthias Tell, first time strike into the back of the net, makes it 1-0. Great movement there for Matthias Tell, and makes it 1-0 to us. John Duran. Xavi Simmons. Tonali Tau was on side, not sure why he ran away, but he gets back on side. He hits the post. Simmons. Tau over here to Tonali, inside here to Kudus. He turns, driven, shoots, and he misses. Why is it Pedro Porro here again? I don't know why it's always Pedro Porro here. And that pass is always bad. It's always under hit for no reason. Okay, that works out for Simmons. Here's the post. Duran. Matthias Tell, why didn't he shoot sooner? Isak back into McAllister, back into Isak. That's our second shot of the game. Van der Ven blocks it, thankfully for us. I had to focus up there, and Liverpool have now gone all of a sudden super high press. But it's now last chance of the game. Can we create something here? Ball into the box, back six, looking for Matthias Tell on the header. Addison makes a save. Last chance here now from this corner. Let's whip it in, looking for Araujo. Try to score a corner. And Araujo win this header. The Uruguayan doesn't. Tonali first time. Imagine if that went in. So 1-0 win against Liverpool in such a boring game. Liverpool had two shots. One of them was in the opening moments of the game. The second was blocked by Van der Ven towards the end there. But that was such a boring game. I feel like I need to change the sliders again. It gets so annoying having to change the sliders every week for this game to make it fun to play, to make the AI actually do stuff against me. Because look at that, just pure domination from me. I didn't even have a fun game myself, but I won. The AI did nothing against me that I didn't even have to play the best football possible. And well, after that boring game against Liverpool, we're still in the round 16 of the Champions League against Napoli. We beat them 3-2 overall. I decided to sim it because, well, we won the Champions League last season. Our team should at least make it through to the quarterfinals, semi-finals without having need us to touch the Champions League games. That, if anything like that, maybe like a big team we get next up, I might have to play it. But right now, I feel like we have a pretty good squad that should make it pretty far. Considering this team is a lot better than it was last season, and we won the Champions League. And if we don't win it this season, it will be kind of like a disappointing, kind of like Liverpool in the Prem where they spent loads of money and they are doing worse than they did last season. So that sort of thing. But we're now going to get into the Carabao Cup final against Arsenal at Wembley. Let's get into this one, hopefully win our third trophy of the series here. Well, Odegaard gets the game kicked off. And one thing I need to bring up as well, if you're watching this far into the video, first of all, I appreciate you, and drop a like and subscribe to the channel if you're enjoying the content. And check out the other comments I've done on the channel so far. But also, drop in the comments below if you're watching this far, if you prefer the episodes like this, you know, the longer episodes with more in them than like a 25 to 30 minute episode, like a 40 minutes to an hour long video that I'm doing with these recently. Matthias Tell, trying to get a quick start here. Tonali is offside. Yeah, players in this game didn't stand there for about a decade offside. That'd be great. They didn't do anything against us attacking wise, and it seems like it might be the same again. Simmons put over top to Duran. He should be on side here. When the ball catches up to him, he gets the goal. Love to see it. That ball took a while to get to him, to the point where he had to take it on the turn there on a half volley, but thankfully Duran finds the back of the net there. 14 minutes in, puts us ahead in the Carabao Cup final. Obviously a trophy we couldn't win last season because Spurs got knocked out IRL in this competition. Obviously, the same with the FA Cup. So this is we're looking to win them both, as well as the Premier League and also the Champions League for a second time. And well, you love to see it there. Duran scores, make it 1-0. Gallagher steals it. Simmons through to John Duran, and it might be 2-0 straight away here. Raya, good save. Tonali. And Duran or Saliba, just don't be injured, Duran. Please get up. At least we have Garassi, but please don't be injured, Duran. Gonna take him off at half time. Oh no, not before the half time break. Saka, there's Van der Ven. And it's been a very boring game so far. Also done nothing against us attacking wise. We've done barely anything since we scored that goal. We had one chance that Duran should have scored. And when Duran's picked up an injury, so we have to take him off and bring on Garassi up front. Not a bad change, you know what I mean? Bring on Garassi as a backup striker. Got us inside, Garassi. Tonali hits it, Raya with the save. And that completely negates all our players pretty much. Kudus. Gallagher deflected by Marino out for a corner. That's been this game. That has been this game. Havertz is now on for them. Just try to win a header with Araujo. Araujo wins the header, but it's saved by David Raya on counters and stuff. Especially when they don't defend the ball when you're holding 0-2. It doesn't matter who it is, it feels like right now. I feel like he's got the enforcer play style as well. That's meant to make the player harder to get off the ball. But right there you just saw Declan Rice just easily push Garassi off the ball. This game has been such a haram. Arsenal are back to Harambo FC and FC 26 again. They were like this a few months ago. Every time I played them, I hated it. They're back to that again. Simmons steals it. Why? I'm trying to play an over-the-top through ball in behind into the space. Why has it gone about 2 feet in the air? We get a 1-0 win in this final. So let's cut to the trophy list because this has been such a boring experience, this final. Nothing's happened. Alright, so we'll win the Carabao Cup, but the downside to this is Duran might be out injured. This was such a boring and just awful gaming experience. Like, nothing happened in this game. We scored a goal, and after that, it was just back and forth in midfield for like 70, 80 minutes. And that was such a bad game. Like, it actually has pissed me off how bad that game was. But we win the Carabao Cup here. Conor Gallagher lifts it. Which is to see, and hopefully Duran isn't injured. Let's check his injury, and hopefully taking him off at half time has minimised that risk, and hopefully he's going to be completely fine. Alright, so here we are, the semi-final second leg of the Champions League. I did play the first leg, but it would have been pointless for you guys to watch it. Genuinely, it would have been so pointless for you guys to watch it. It was such a boring game. It ended 1-1. We scored in the 12th minute with Duran, and then they scored in the 89th minute after having like 2 shots all game to get a 1-1 draw. We had like 5 chances we should have scored, which we couldn't do so. And I just deleted the footage because I didn't want to put it in the episode because it just wasn't worthwhile you guys watching. So I thought, you know what, I'll sim to the second leg and play it there. We're facing Real Madrid in the final if we can beat PSG here away in Paris, but I need this series to be over so I can check, so I can just reset the sliders and stuff like that and make them better again and like edit them. And I don't know what I need to do. I really don't, because this game, the first episode of this series that I played, I was having so much fun, and then after that it's gone downhill, and this episode has just been so boring and just dry. It's been the same game over and over. We score first, we then can't create any chances after that. The AI do nothing. They get a late goal to earn a point or just about almost get a win, or you know what I mean, or almost get a draw, whatever. I just don't want to sit here and complain, but what else can I do when I play this game? Like, I can't sit here and be like, this game's great. I wish I could. I want to, but I can't. The way we were playing, and we are playing some great football now and again, yes, but this episode has been as Matthias Tell runs through and makes it 1-0. That didn't happen at all, by the way, in the first game. No, I literally recorded and I played. We didn't have any openness like that. More of that, please, game. We score first in the opening, literally from kickoff. We score. It is where it is, though. I swear Vuvuzelas or whatever it is wasn't in that animation beforehand. That's new, right? I never heard that in the 4 months this game's been out. I've never heard that in that cutscene. But we score first there in the second leg to make it 2-1 overall. Matthias Tell with a goal. But yeah, I felt like I was kind of having the most fun in Criminal Rush using like the 4-1-2-1-2 and arrow, or like formations that are different. Now I do have fun with some formations like this where I can play some great football, but okay. Okay, Simmons trying to get it through, forces Duran, who shoots and misses. Simmons with that from you across Duran. Not this again. That was the whole first leg where Chevalier just making saves he shouldn't be making. Good challenge from Van der Ven. Simmons, Duran, you've got to score here. If he didn't score that, I don't know what I was going to say, but he ricochets it, he rifles it off the bar and in. It's 3-2 here. Last time we scored, we conceded straight from kickoff, so hopefully that doesn't happen again. But I don't know what I need to do with this game to make it fun again. I mean, there's not much I can do. There's a lot of stuff that EA can do, you know, that as a company themselves with this gameplay, they can reverse it back to the way it was at the start of this game, with open attacking football and like manual defending being the main thing, and like AR defending not being there as much as it was. And the openness we did have with this game, with the attacking play, bring that back. Just make this game more attacking for a month and see what happens. Just see, like, remove the AI defending as OP as it is right now. You know what I mean? Like, remove that. Make the dribbling better, more like it was literally as you said it would be in the trailer, more dynamic, more, you know, agile players were, you know, cutting through teams if they were good at dribbling and you did well with the dribbling. Not stuff like that, where like you just try to do a bit of skill and then your player just forgets about the ball existing. Like, just bring back the stuff you said you were going to give us at the start, and you did give us at the start for a little while, but then everyone cried, was bad at defending, and like needs a game to defend for them and do everything for them. They cried that they couldn't win games, and he gave it back to them because you've got no backbone as a company. And I might make a whole rant video about this game. Like, I don't know. There's a lot of stuff I want to say, but everyone right now is making a rant video about this game. I don't just want to make one for the sake of making one. You know, GTA that I've been grinding. And I feel like just when I come to this game, I'm just instantly like in a worse mood just by seeing this game. Blocked by Araujo out for a corner. Oh, thank you. Please. What is that goal I've just conceded? If I conceded a header, fair enough, it's a header. Oh, what is this? Why is he taking a touch? What is that? Just clear it. In what world is Van der Ven in real life going to take a touch there? The ball's in the 6-yard box. The keeper's on the floor. He's going to just hoof it away. Okay, we'll win a free kick to Nolly. Please score this for just my sanity. Please score this. I'll put us back in the lead. Sandro Tonali from the free kick. Beautiful free kick. Hold that, PSG. Oh, this game today, this whole recording session, it's just not been fun. It really hasn't. And the worst thing is, I was having fun in this series with the first episode and a bit in the second episode, but this episode, I feel like the gameplay has just gone, I don't know what's changed. This feels like some days this game is like fun, and then it just changes out of nowhere to just being, it's bipolar, it's schizophrenic, that's where it is. Monotone, this is a series finale. I should be in a much better mood than I am for this. I've got the ball. I didn't call back. It's not even a red. So why are you They score again. Thank you, Araujo. That's going to be no handball, but it's going to be end of the game. A 3-2 win over PSG. I probably just showed you the goals that we scored and conceded in this game, because again, it was a boring game. It was a very frustrating game. The goals we conceded, I don't want to talk about. I don't want to see ever again. I mean, unfortunately for me, I'm going to have to watch them again in the editing, but, you know, we win this game, that's all that matters. But again, look at that, they had 3 shots, they did nothing. We had nearly double their passes. Like, something needs to change with this game, and it's not going to happen. We're going to be stuck with this gameplay for the next, 7 months? More than that, probably. No, I think, is it 7 months? I don't even know. For the rest of this game cycle, we're going to be stuck with this gameplay, and it's just going to drive me insane. And well, as you can see, we've been crowned champions of the Premier League here, and well, we did this with 3 or 4 games left to spare, which is pretty impressive. So I just summed through a bunch of games it said, and next game if we win, we are crowned champions. So I've literally just simmed to the end of it, and we've got to win pretty much. You know what I mean? Conor Gallagher steps up to lift the Premier League trophy, which we'll to see. And we are crowned champions of the Premier League. We've won the Carabao Cup, we've won the Champions League, we've won the UEFA Super Cup. And well, next up we have the FA Cup to try and win, and also the Champions League for a second time in the series. Alright, so next up is the FA Cup finals. We tried to win the domestic treble here. So we did just win the Premier League title. We'll win the FA Cup earlier. Oh, not the FA Cup earlier, the Carabao Cup earlier. That's to try and win the FA Cup here. Let's get into this one at Wembley, up against Man City, and hopefully win this one as well. And then after this, we're going to get into the Champions League finals, hopefully end the series off on the highest, possibly winning their second Champions League trophy in the series. Shirky really does well for Man City, man. Obviously, right now he's playing great for us. As ball into the box, Haaland's header would have been handball, and I think against him anyway. But yeah, I'm really hoping that Ryan Shirky can continue the levels of performance he's putting in. Kudus sends through John Duran. That's exactly where we want John Duran to be, but back here to Kudus. Good play here. Kudus through, and Kudus scores. And while his former team is a Chrome mode that I'm thinking about doing, and by the way, that is actually, to be fair, we could do an Ajax Chrome mode and also the West Ham Chrome mode pretty soon. But I think next up I want to take a trip back to Germany and do a Hamburg or Dortmund series. And I'm kind of leaning towards more Hamburg than Dortmund, but both of them would be fun to do. But Kudus here scores to make it 1-0. And drop in the comments down below if you're watching this far, what series we should do next. Should it be Dortmund, Hamburg, West Ham, Ajax, Porto maybe? There's a bunch of great teams we could do. Deportivo La Coruña over in Spain as a longer term series, could be fun to do. He sells the ball, Belgian. Kovacic, Rodri, into Doku, who shoots. So there's a good save there for Anton Trubin to keep us 1 goal to the good here. That's a great save there by Trubin as well, by the way. Ball into the box, looking for Haaland, whose header is over the bar. John Duran. Ball forward here to Mohamed Kudus here. Can we get a second goal? Matthias Tel shoots, deflected and saved by Donnarumma. It's a big save there from the Italian. They did take a deflection if I'm not mistaken. It did just about off gate here. It would have been going out for a corner anyway, but Donnarumma made the save just to be safe. Araujo. That crosses way deep into the box than I expected, and Donnarumma had to make the save. So we didn't really get to use them that much in that Man City Chrome at the start of the year. That's the issue with doing the Man City series. You don't really have much time to use their players, because if you win the Champions League first season like you're meant to, as Kudus makes it 2. Yeah, like I was saying, there's a lot of players in the Man City team that I want to use more. And Fulham is the team that I want to do Chroma with now. Oscar Bob is there. I was already thinking about doing a Fulham series, but Oscar Bob being there makes them a bit more of a fun series to do. Yeah, players like Marmouche, who apparently doesn't have that much potential in this game for some reason, because apparently every time in Chroma when I look at him, it's this peak overall at 83 when he's only 27 years old. Like his potential should be like 88. I feel like they definitely should have boosted his potential more than they have done in this game, but Yeah, there's a lot of Man City players I'd like to use again in the series, like, you know, Ryan Shirky, the likes of Mamouche, even Foden could be a fun player to use in another series. Nico Gonzalez, and some other young players in their team. Good play here, Duran. So Kudus is on for a hat-trick in this game. Duran does well to hold off. Not Gay here, and Duran makes it through. And that, an hour break or so, listening to music has clearly done some good for me. Because I've come into this game and I'm cooking like I wasn't able to do beforehand. And the mindset I was in like an hour or so ago, like an hour and a half ago, I was just frustrated. I'm making so many stupid errors at times in attacks. But right now I'm focused, I'm composed, I'm locked in. And it's 3-0 here to us in the FA Cup final. And with me as manager, we're taking Spurs from 16th in the table to 7th in season 1 and winning the Champions League in that season to here in season 2. Winning the Super Cup, the Carabao Cup, the Premier League, and well, probably the FA Cup. I don't see us throwing this away, hopefully not. And also, we're hopefully going to beat Real Madrid in the Champions League final, as we defeated Atletico Madrid last season when they are facing their Madrid rivals. Ryan Shirky, ball into the box. It's going to be Truben to come out and collect low. He's one of the most technically gifted footballers ever. Man City are popping it around nicely here. Tonali their blocks the attempted pass from Rico Lewis. I mean, I can get it away. And hopefully down the left there, because there's a bunch of space for us to attack into. Xavi Simons now. That shot was weird. Ball into the box. Headed away by Van der Ven. For Foden, Haaland shoots Truben with a big save again there. Now we can counter here, maybe Matthias Tell. Simmons. Duran, please stay on side. There we go. Cut it inside. Duran shoots and it's saved by Donnarumma. That could have been 4. But Donnarumma stops us there. Just about. Gallagher. Wraps it. That's a great finish. He did that for us in episode 1. In a similar position. But Conor Gallagher here, this finish is just incredible. The power, the precision. Yeah, that is a striker's finish there from Conor Gallagher. Haaland. A clean sheet could be gone here. Foden. Inside, blocked by Araujo. Was the attempted shot from Doku. Van Duran. Mohamed Kudus. Xavi denied though by Janovic. This game could have been like, I mean, to be fair, Man City have a few opportunities that Truben saved, but this game, if it wasn't for, you know, Donnarumma, could be 6-7-0. I didn't even mean to make the 6-7 joke. I hate that meme so much, I wish it would die already. He gets it into our former player, Dejan Kulusevski. And what? Truben, please save this. If we concede here, I'm going to be frustrated. That's no penalty, thank you. Okay. An interesting end to the game there. But yeah, after this corner, the game's done. Rodri in. Cleared off the line. And there's the final. It's a 4-0 win in the FA Cup. The domestic treble has been won. Let's cut to the trophy to see Gallagher lift the FA Cup and then get into the FA Cup, the Champions League final up against Real Madrid. Now more Conor Gallagher steps us away to lift the trophy. He played a great part in winning in this game. He played incredible in midfield. He's one of those midfielders that just controls the game. Just something about him in this game. He just is great for me. I don't know what it is about him. I just get on so well with Conor Gallagher in this game. It's just incredible for me. But yeah, he lifts the trophy here. The FA Cup won for Spurs. And that's our what? Champions League, Premier League, Carabao Cup, FA Cup, UEFA Super Cup, our 5th trophy this season, or in the series. Let's get into our next final, which is the Champions League final, and hopefully win that one as well to win six trophies in the series. Alright, so here we're at the Champions League final in Real Madrid's rivals' home stadium against the team the stadium of the team we beat in the final last season, Atletico Madrid. So maybe some good vibes for us maybe, because we beat, like we did last season in the competition. Without playing in their home stadium to face their city rivals, let's get into this one up against Real Madrid and hopefully lift the Champions League at the end of this game for a second time in this series. Only transfers to win everything, so right now we've won everything up to this point. Ball through, Duran. We get a quick start to this game, and John Duran makes it 1-0. And what a turnaround he's had in his career from being loaned out to Fenerbahce to Zenit to returning to European football here with Spurs and proving to be one of the best strikers in the world. For us up front, we gave him the trust, we gave him the confidence he needed and the ability to shut him through. Obviously, Guirassy was brought in to be backup to him just in case we needed Guirassy, but we haven't really needed Guirassy at any point because Duran is just that good. Get a play switchings all over the place right now. Fede Valverde hits it. Trubin, comfortable save for the now 88 rated goalkeeper. A +6 for him this season. We brought him in to replace Vicario at a lower rating. And he's got up to an 88 from an 82. But it could be 2-0 here. Ball inside. Duran is 2. Spurs are not Spursy anymore. Since I've came in as manager, I've turned this team into a clinical team. Just a team that doesn't waste opportunities and goes into every game knowing they can win, and they do win. And Duran gets a brace for himself fairly quickly in this game, and Madrid are probably wondering what happened to the Spurs of old, the Spurs they've beaten in the past. Where's that Spurs gone? And the answer to that is, I'm here now. Things are different. We don't care who you are, Real Madrid. We're here to win our second UCL in a row. There's Vinicius. There's Araujo. Sends for Kudus. It could be 3. It isn't. It should have been 3. Mohamed Kudus. Sadali. Great play. If we squat into this, Courtois puts it out for a corner. It's winning into Fede Valverde. Here is the Argentinian. Over to Vinicius. That's a good block there by Conor Gallagher. Dean Housen heads it over the bar. Oh, Matthias Tell steals it. And he cuts inside. He wraps it into the far corner. And Matthias Tell was locked in there. He was ready for that pass from Eder Militao. And he got there insanely quickly to intercept it. And then beat Militao with a cut inside right here. And what he's been doing best for us throughout this whole series, wraps the ball into the far corner with that finesse shot play style. He is incredible at that. Honestly, Matthias Tell is so good in this game at left wing. He's great at striker as well. But at left wing, I just feel like he is made for that position in this game. Cutting in with a finesse shot into the far corner. It's just his bread and butter. And Madrid are just being ransacked like we did in Man City here. And I'm just going to have to say, I have not changed anything with the sliders between the games you've watched in this episode already and the games you've just seen against Man City and this one right here. All that's happened is I sat for like an hour and a half, listened to music and vibed. And I've come back with a fresh mindset, in a better mood. And it's showing because I am back to cooking with this team. And Duran is through, he's onside as well. Duran is offside? No. No, you need to show him the line. You need to show. Master Twinner's going off already. Rodrigo coming on. Did have a face scan. Here's Eduardo Camavinga. Trubin, big save. First time he's been called into action so far. Rodrigo in. Huijsen. Vinicius. And that's a great set from Trubin, by the way. And Mbappe just punched our defender, by the way. We dominated possession with 60-something%. And we're leading this game 3-0. right now anyway. And Madrid are likely to score in this game, but we are also likely to score more by Courtois than Xavi Simons there. Here to Jude Bellingham. Now Rodrigo. Oh no, Bellingham through to Mbappe. This is probably going to be 3-1. Trubin, what a save. Duran. Gallagher. Tonali. Kudus. And Duran gets a hat-trick. Ending the series the way he started it. With a hat-trick in a final. In the Super Cup final was his debut against Roma. He scored a hat-trick inside 35 minutes. This one's taking him a bit longer. But it's 3 for John Duran in the Champions League final against Real Madrid. And he is, I mean, Arbeloa, you're probably going to get sacked after this game, lad. Like, sorry to do this to you, but you're probably going to get sacked. Duran once more. Simons. Kudus. Okay, interesting. Duran. Denied there by Courtois. Jude trying to just create something here, but he's actually cutting through. He's doing it all himself, but Araujo blocks just to give them, you know, their moments in the Champions League final. Mbappe, oh, it's done being there. He switches to play though out wide here for no reason to Valverde. Into the box. Trubin makes a save and it's cleared by Doji. Bellingham to Mbappe. Trubin, take a bow, lad. Take a bow. Clattered there by Araujo in the final moments of the game. There must be some beef there unfinished from their days in El Clasico. Bellingham, shot taken. Trubin makes another save. He's unlucky not to get a clean sheet, to be honest. Like, he deserves a clean sheet in this game. But last kick of the game here for Real Madrid. Vinicius, are they going to get another goal? They shouldn't get another goal here. The referee should just call it to, you know, wrap it up. Mickey van der Ven gets it away. There we go. It's a 4-1 win. Our second Champions League, 2 in a row. Let's cut to the trophy lift, and for a second season in a row, see us lift the biggest trophy in club football. Now you can see the fans in the pub in England are now going from a team that they didn't used to see win trophies, a team that had now won 6 trophies under me as manager, and 2 of them are the Champions League. Somehow last season we won this trophy. Against all the odds we managed to do it, but this season we deserve to win it more than, I mean, we deserve to win it last season, but you know what I mean. We should have won it this season, basically. We spent more money. The team is a lot better than it was last season. And Conor Gallagher, what a career he's had since moving from LA Madrid in January to being to Spurs, winning a Champions League that season, and now 5 trophies in one season as captain of the squad since Araujo left. And we'll just wrap up the series here. Look at the stats of the players. And what a series this has been, and what a final 2 games of the season series this has been as well. And well, looking into the stats, it's clear to see why we won every trophy we could have won this season. John Duran, 29 goals and 8 assists. What a striker he's been for us in this team. Matthias Tell, 27 and 5. Sergio Guirassy in 25 games, 18 goals and 2 assists. Mohamed Kudus, 16 and 9. Mikey Moore, 16 and 10. What an underrated player he's been in this team. Xavi Simons with 12 and 24. 36 and 42 for Simons. Just what a season this has been. I mean, Odobert, you know, he didn't play as many games this season, so he's had less of a impact on the team. But last season he was incredible for us in the team. Obviously, we brought in Duran, which moved Tell to left wing, which then dropped Odobert to the bench as a backup player. But Mikey Moore as well, what a backup player he's been for us in the squad. But this team, even before Araujo and Tonali came in, was incredible. But bringing Tonali into the team didn't really look like much in the gameplay. You know what I mean? You didn't really see much difference between him and Archie Gray, but he was great. Tonali was incredible. Araujo at centre-back, incredible. Like, the amount of challenges he made. Romero was great. I really liked Romero in this team, but Araujo just, I don't know. I think it's his pace that made the difference compared to Romero. It was just incredible. But the most underrated player in this team, and it's got to go to Conor Gallagher. He was unbelievable for us. Trubin coming in at an 82, now being 88 rated, is insane. Pedro Porro at right back, what a great play he's been. Mickey Van de Ven has been a great centre back for us. Adoji at left back, him and Jed Spencer battered out for that position. Simmons at cam, what a player he's been. Duran at striker, incredible. Tell, generational at left wing. Kudus, good at right wing. I mean, he wasn't the biggest player for us in this team, but not, as you saw by the stats, not a bad player for us in this team to have whatsoever. Bench wise, Mikey Moore, I want to use again. Every time I used him in this series, he felt good on the ball. Odobert, I would like to use again in the future. He was incredible for us last season. Madison, well, we didn't really use much of him because I didn't really make many changes. The same with Bergvall, I want to use him again in the future. Perhaps Sova could sign, maybe Archie Grover could sign again. Vuskovic was used in a Mönchengladbach series, so I'm kind of glad we didn't really use him in this series as much as I wanted to. So I know how good he can be. Alfie Davana played that I want to use again in the future, 100%. I didn't actually use him in this series whatsoever. I thought I would, but with Bergvall and Bergvall and Madison being ahead of him, I didn't really give him much game time. And overall, we just got a great squad. Like this team is incredible. Like Rassi as a backup striker is insane. Like we didn't really use much of him in today's episode, but he was kind of here as a fail-safe if Duran got injured or whatever happened. And luckily we didn't have to use that fail-safe as much as we could have done. But what a team this has been. And what a way to end the series by beating Real Madrid 4-1 in the final. Could have been more. To be fair, Real Madrid could have scored more goals if it wasn't for Trubin in goal. But yeah, that's going to call it for the Spurs series. If you want to enjoy the episode, drop a like and subscribe. And as always, thank you for watching and goodbye.